What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Just want to make this quick video. I didn't really want to make a video, really. Well, actually, I did, but it's mainly just give you guys an update because I've been gone for a minute, and I don't want to leave you niggas hanging and shit. I want to just talk about a few things. One thing you niggas need to really you really need to do is if you can, go on a long fast. Go on a long fast and cleanse your body and your mind. Like when I say go on a long fast, you need to go on a long fast because when you go on a longer fast, you cleanse a lot of energy and you start to have a different perception about shit. Like a lot of the anger, a lot of the ignorance and the way you think and a lot of this other shit has nothing really to do with what you're going through or what's happening to you. It all has to do with a lot of like blockages and negative energy and just bullshit that's going through you that fasting and what cleanse and not even just fasting but just healing and like 'cause I've been doing a lot of breath work with my fast which has helped me a lot and I'm realizing like a lot of shit that I liked and I didn't like and all this other shit it was based upon just me fucking like just have a lot of negative energy that I need to cleanse. So that's why I'm telling you guys, if you guys can go on a long fast, so you can cleanse a lot of that shit. Because like a lot, like at first I didn't give a fuck about like the area that I'm at. I'm like, well, I'm in this area. I don't care. I'm here. But like I'm realizing like I don't like this shit. Like a lot of shit that I thought I didn't give a fuck about. It was really like because it's like when you smoke, you're like, well, I can only watch this movie when I smoke and you watch it on you spend years watching movies doing things or doing certain activities and over time you think that's you but then in reality is like no you're just in a haze and that's what you're attract that's what you like once you get rid of that haze then you notice those things you don't give a fuck about no more so that's kind of like in the situation I'm in right now so I'm about to be getting the fuck up out of here probably by the end of this year um yeah probably by the end of this year I'm about to be getting out of here I can't be in this fucking place no more and I'm just done with this shit because, and like, when it comes to spirituality, like, I don't know. Ever since I was on this fast, like probably like midway through this fast, I did not want to be on the internet. Like I've been out just doing shit, just making different like moves and just doing a lot more shit. And it's like I just can't be on the internet like that no more. It depresses me when I'm just sitting here on my phone. Like it'd be at the end of the day, and I'd be coming home. I don't got shit to do because like it's the end of the day, and I'm sitting here like I kind of get depressed being on my phone and shit. I'm like, damn, I gotta do something. So it's like if I do be on my shit, I probably try to go out and do shit. But like I'm realizing like you guys gotta realize what the fuck's going on because I realize there's a lot of the person that I'm supposed to be. I'm not that. I wasn't that, and like I had a glimpse, and it's just I'm realizing like yeah, there's a lot. I gotta like distance myself from this shit right now because it could get dangerous for me because I might snap somebody's neck. I might say something I don't mean. And like I'm not trying to get into that state and attract a lot of negative energy. And plus I had a lot of realizations that I gotta get on my like my shit right now. So like I'm right now I'm a liquidarian right now. I don't eat solid food. If I do, probably once every other week. Eventually, that's going to be gone. Because even when I was, even like 2 months ago, when I was eating solid food every day, I couldn't even eat shit. Like shit just started not tasting good. Like I would be eating like I, you know, when you guys get hungry at the end of the day, I never got hungry. Like even when I thought I got hungry, when I would eat, it wouldn't fulfill me. Like I'll think I'm hungry, and then I'll eat, and then when I eat I don't it doesn't fulfill me or I get full quick. Like after 2 bites, I don't want to eat no more. And when I did that, I was like, what the fuck's going on? I knew what the fuck was going on, but when I was on this fast, I'm like, if I'm feeling like this 2 months ago and if every month it's increasing, because I've just been increasing since 2021 when I told you guys I started my yoga. And then if I go on these fasts, when I end these fasts, it doesn't. I don't need that much food because the last fast I went on was like 7 days, and before the 11th day, it was like 6 or 7 days. And then when I ended it, I ended it because the way normal people end it, you're hungry or you want to eat or you're feeling like a certain way, so you need to consume. But when I consumed, I didn't even eat that much, and I was straight. So now I was like, the last fast I did, I was like, let me just go and eat it with a liquid. I ate it with the liquid. I went to Jamba Juice, just got me the large shit, ate that shit, and I was straight. I was able to do this 11-day fast. So now I'm gonna probably end this in a few days. I might have some solid shit because the only reason because I got some fucking Nigerian shit that I like. I don't even really eat that, and I really fuck with that. I might eat that, but even then, I may not even really eat it. But I don't know. Like it's just that's what I'm telling you, nigga. If you guys can go on a long fast and cleanse a lot of that negative energy, a lot of these parasites, a lot of these things that is in you that's making you think a certain way. And like me, it's crucial for me because when I'm in a low state, I get really nasty and shit, and I'll probably sabotage some shit. And it's not really, I can't keep doing that. So I have to get in a good mindset because I'm either in a good mindset or I'm gonna end up sabotaging and doing some fucked up shit. And I'm not really trying to do that shit anymore and be on that type of frequency. Even like the videos I come up here cussing and shit, like a lot of that shit is just me just fucking not taking my own responsibility, what I gotta fucking do, to be honest. That's why I'm like, if I'm not in the mood, I'm probably not even gonna make a video because I don't want to just keep saying a lot of negative shit and it hurts. Yeah, you guys watch my videos, you guys may get offended, but it's like a lot of this shit I don't even really mean towards you. I mean it towards these bots, but even then, like when I'm on my shit, I don't even give a fuck about these niggas. They're not even in my field of view when I'm doing my shit. So like, this is what I need to keep up. And this last fast really made me to realize a lot of shit. So it's like, because right now, like there's really nothing to do other than work on self at this point right now. Like everything is coming to like an end. I don't want to say it's coming to an end physically, but on a certain shift level, is like if you're not working on self, somebody's gonna be working on you. Whether that be systems, programs, mental illness, like something's gonna be working on you. Like if you're not working on self or doing what you got, and working on something doesn't mean just healing. It could be like doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Because health and healing is what I realized is not the absence of illness. You can be sick and you can be um you can be healthy and be sick. Just because people say, "Oh, I want to take care of my health," because if I don't take care of my health, I'm gonna have heart disease. If I don't take care of my health, I'm gonna have a heart attack. But you can have a healthy heart. This is why I told you most breatharians and vegans, they're very toxic and pieces of shit. I'll say like 98% of them. And it doesn't matter because if you're a very toxic person and you're healthy, you may say, "Well, I can't get a heart attack because I'm healthy. I eat healthy." But at the same time, if you eat healthy and your health is good and you're toxic, then this can create a situation where you have an accident, somebody come and shoot you. A lot of people who get hurt, get killed, get in an accident, their leg broke or just something that happens that's nothing to do with their health, that's something external. It's because they were attacked. Like if let's just say, like if you need a lesson to be shown to you, it's going to be shown to you. If you're privy to a lot of illness, then the spirit may work through that illness to make you more sick to tell you you're off your path. You see what I'm saying? If your health is good and you're still off your path, it can't work through that. It won't be able to be as efficient. So it have to get a message to you a different way. Even down to you probably getting bit by a snake and get poisoned. You're sick like that. So health is a mindset. It's not the absence of illness. And health is not just because you're healthy. It's a mindset. So you can be sick and in the process of healing. Don't think like, oh, I'm sick, I gotta get healed. Think, okay, I'm sick, I know what I gotta do, and I'm down to do it. I'm already healthy. You're more healthier than a person who has a disease is more healthy. A person who has a disease who knows how to cure it and is actively curing it, even if it takes them 2 years, they're more healthy than somebody who's doesn't have no disease and they just living their life recklessly. So you guys gotta understand that. That's what it is. That's really what it is. That's why I told you guys like a lot of vegans and fucking breatharian people. They're very toxic ass people when I look at them, because when you look at a lot of them, they're into that prana, love, and light. And what I realize is when you're, because this reality we're in is duality. So it's like, you ever heard of that saying, "You fucking up my high"? You fucking up my high, like, are you dick blocking? You're doing something you like, and then you're feeling good, and then somebody stops it. It's like that with the with people who are, because a lot of people who practice breatharianism, they're into prana, energy, and love and light. So they get on this high, and then there are a lot of them, they become toxic because they're more, when you're more toxic, when you're more into that prana shit, love and light, you're more sensitive to negativity. So this one nigga, he's all talk about, "Oh, I was crying and I felt bad and it made me go vegan because I watched the video of animals getting killed in a factory." And I'm not saying it's good to see animals getting killed. There was a cat in the fucking sewer. I saved the cat years ago. But if you, it's to a point where you in a factory and you see a bunch of cows and chickens, bitch, that's the point of life. That's part of life. You might as well cry when you see an animal getting killed by a lion. Nigga, that's the part of fucking life. You can't sit there and be all like, "Oh, an animal got killed and I'm gonna be like," nigga, that's fucking life. Nothing wrong with somebody eating meat. There's nothing wrong with somebody, even if you see somebody doing drugs, that's their business. That's what they want to do. I don't know what the fuck they going through. But when you on that high and that love and light shit with a lot of these prana back, because when you're eating less food and you're eating more plant based and shit, your emotions aren't the same as somebody who's eating dense. So a lot of these motherfuckers, like, they're very toxic because, like, when you go high, it's easy for somebody, like I said, fucking up your high. So a lot of them be high, so they're more sensitive to negative things. And since we live in a world with a lot of negativity, these people they become toxic because when they see somebody smoking a cigarette, when they see somebody doing this, when they see somebody just being a normal being within this world, this duality world, it offends them, and they get more, and it makes them become toxic. That's one thing I realized. That's why I say, like, when you're on this shit, don't become like these people, because it develops a mental illness, and then they still have problems that they have to resolve, and their health won't just solve all that. Because yeah, you could be healthy and be on that, but you toxic enough, nigga, somebody might come and slap you upside your fucking head. You might trip and fall on the fucking nail. Like, you don't want to attract no negative situation. And what I realized is that healing and doing practices to take care of your health isn't healing you. If you are a type of person, like, where you're like, "I'm gonna eat junk food and I'm gonna heal myself after I eat junk food. Like, I'm gonna eat junk food and heal myself, and then I'm just gonna do it whenever I want to." Or like these Ramadan faggots, "Oh, I'm gonna fast once a year and cleanse the body, and I do a fast." That's not healing, because you got to get the message. Because the message is to have a certain mindset. That's healing, having a mindset. Healing, health and healing isn't the absence of illness. It's a mindset that you have to every day do. Because if you just think of it physically, then you could be doing a fast, and all of a sudden, like, you're not getting the results you want, or you're eating healthy, you're not getting the results you want because you're not doing it in the proper way, the mechanism that's supposed to be done. Because healing and health is not just absent of illness and physical things like breath work and fasting. It's a mindset and a lifestyle you have to be in, and other shit that goes with it. So you guys got to understand that. I don't want you guys watching these other videos and you see these motherfuckers, they toxic as hell. Like, even when you watch, like, fucking the whole Nature Boy thing, when they were in the beginning, when they were in the jungle and shit, and then they were all on that fucking B6 diet. They were all eating healthy and cleansing, but they were very toxic as fuck, cussing at each other, yelling, fighting, all that shit. And then they would judge people for eating a hamburger or some shit. I'm like, bitch, some of these people who eat hamburgers is more fucking on a path than you. Like, the fuck, not to say if they weren't eating that, they could be on an even better path and supersede your ass, especially because they're not a toxic bitch like you. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta look at it from all perspectives. So just remember that healing is a mindset. It's not just the absence of illness. And once you start getting into that mindset, then you realize a lot of things you liked and you didn't like was all because of, like, you're on a high. Like you smoking, you getting drunk, and then when you're drunk, you'll be like, "Oh, I love you," and happy. But when you're sober, you don't give a fuck about that shit. So it's the same when you're not yourself, when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing spiritually, you have desires that you think that you like. You have certain addictions, habits, and you think you like it. You think, "Oh, I like watching this weak ass, stupid, dumbass movie and video game or anime, whatever you niggas watch." You think you like that shit. You think you like going online every day and watching the same video. But once you really tap in and you release that energy and you go a different path, then you realize that you don't like that shit no more. If anything, that shit makes you depressed and constricted. And then if you do it too long, you're gonna have regret. Like, damn, I wasted all these fucking years doing this shit. Like, I could have been doing this if I would have just stuck to this, and then you would have been doing. And it's not about money and all that other crap. Cause that shit don't mean shit. All that money shit, that don't mean nothing. Like a lot of people, like you guys think that money's gonna make you happy and all that. Money is not, because even when you get money, you have to learn how to maintain it. You gotta know how to invest it, or it's gonna just go away. And even then, like if if something is bringing you too much happiness and you're using it as a distraction, the spirit will infiltrate and make you not even desire that no more, and make it where it's taken away. It can either take it away from you, which a lot of these spiritual people say, "Oh, the spirit will take something away from you," which it can. But like some cases, especially with me, like for me, mostly things weren't really taken away from me. It was like I don't enjoy it no more, or it didn't bring me satisfaction. That was mainly my thing in my life. When I be addicted to a food or a certain thing or activity, it wouldn't be like the spirit will take it away. Sometimes it would, but very few. But mostly what it would do, it was make it where I can't enjoy it no more. Like I don't like it. And I'm stuck in a rut, like, what the fuck do I do? And it will force me to have to do what I gotta do, because the shit that I was enjoying, I was addicted to or playing, it didn't get I couldn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun, or I looked at it a different way. Cause I burnt out like the pleasure receptors because I did it too fucking much. So like that's what you guys gotta understand. Like you don't, it's just a whole mechanism to this shit. Which I'm sure a lot of you niggas notice, but I want to just remind you guys. Said hello again from Sweden. What's good? Yeah. Shout you out. Even though I don't fuck with Sweden, I don't like Europe. I don't ever want to go back there again. I don't like Europe. But shout you out though. Yeah. But like I said, guys, like it's crazy out there. Like that's why I haven't really been going online lately. And if I do go online, I just be watching shit that has nothing to really do, no spiritual shit. Cause I feel like the spiritual shit low key depresses me when I'm really like right now. It depresses me. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's like when you go to work. Like let's say a lot of you guys do work. When you go to work, you work to make money. And you let's say you work at fucking In and Out or some shit. Fucking Dollar Tree. If you stock boxes or you're packing hamburgers at the fucking place you work, when you go home and somebody tells you, hey, do you know in 1995 they created the machine you use at work? They created that machine and to make it easier for employees. You're like, don't tell me about that shit, bitch. I'm at home. I want to chill. So like when I'm on my spiritual shit, doing what I'm supposed to do, it's like don't talk to me about that shit. Unless it has some money or it's some money plays or some type of play or move or a situation, don't talk to me about that fucking shit because it gets me annoying. Like I don't want to talk about no fucking work while I'm like doing my shit. When I'm doing my shit, it's like don't talk to me about that shit. A lot of people who watch that shit because they're not doing what they gotta do, especially the advanced people. I'm not talking about people just learning shit. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, so therefore they watch that shit and it makes them feel like they're doing something, but in reality they're not doing shit. So that's how I feel. It's like I'm doing my shit. I want to have fun. I want to be in the world and do stuff, and I don't want to be talking about this shit while I'm doing my thing. And my thing really don't even have something to do with that because whatever that's on that could be somebody else's shit they gotta listen to or whatever. Like you see what I'm saying? Like everybody's different. So you got to keep that shit in mind. You got to keep that shit in mind because, like, I just had some deep realizations recently, and I changed up my whole. I had to change up my whole fucking game plan right now. I had to change up the whole fucking game plan. So right now everything's switched right now, and yeah, everything got to be switched right now for me because I'm on a time crunch right now. Like I can't really fuck around no more, and I'll cut somebody's fucking head off if they trying to block me from what the fuck I'm needing to be doing because I'm on a time crunch. I wasted too much fucking time, like because real like right when Saturn went, I didn't even think time was something you like. A lot of you niggas like 20 some, and you think about, oh, I wasted time. Like yeah, you lucky you think like that. Like I didn't even realize time is something that can be wasted really until when Saturn went into Pisces. And I'm fucking 33. Like I didn't even realize that shit. Like once Saturn went into Pisces, that's when I started realizing, okay, time is gonna be something you can waste. But before that, I thought time was infinite. But I think it's because I was really like in my younger days, I had a lot of mental illness and I was really sick with mental illness and blockages and headaches. And I went through my thing in 2019. So when you go through situations of like being really sick and life and death and mental illness that you're depressed 24/7, when you get out of that, you're more in a you look at everything more from with the rose colored glasses and you don't look at you look at everything like a child. And that's what I was because I pretty much didn't even live. I pretty much had like a lot of blockages and didn't even really experience shit to like probably like 2020, 2019. Like I went through shit, but I was high, I was drunk in order to experience. That's why I was taking pills and drinking like all the time just so I can, but it wasn't authentic. The authentic came probably around 2020 when I realized that probably not that, probably like 2016, because that's when I started really like going to the chiropractor and doing like healing. So like that point, I started really being like in a rose colored glasses and not really giving a fuck. So I lost track of that. You can lose, you can waste time because I was so busy happy that I'm alive and I'm just being. Because I'm like, oh, at least I don't have no mental illness no more. I was struggling with this. I overcame this health issue and I was more in a rose colored glasses. So I just realized when Saturn went into Pisces, like time is something you can waste. So it's like now I'm like, okay, I can't waste any more time because I'm on a time crunch right now. It's just gonna be, yeah, it's not good. And I don't want a lot of you niggas to be in that situation, especially if you're like younger and shit. And people say, "Oh, I'm young," and like at the end of the day, if you anybody can waste time, nigga. Ain't nobody had time to fucking waste, especially in these times. 2020, ain't nobody had time. If you're fucking 19, you're wasting fucking time, bitch. Because at the end of the day, if you're 19 and you end up, let's just say you do what you're supposed to be doing for 5 years at age 19, at 24 years old, you'll be up. But let's just say you wait to 28 and you say, "Oh, I'm 20, I can start doing my shit." In 5 years, you'll be up where you could have been at 24. But imagine if you were up at 24, did this shit for 5 years, and then you did another shit for five, you would have been even double up. This is why you see most people really ain't shit because they program people. "Oh, you're a kid, have fun, you can play video games, and you can just chill," which okay, yeah, but you're gonna be having to catch up at 28, and then even if you let's just say at 28, 27, you start handling your shit, you missed out on an extra 5, 10 years where by the time you're 35, you could have been having a life you probably would have had at 45 or 50. You see what I'm saying? So anybody can waste fucking time. Don't make them feel like just because you're young, you got time. No, you don't fucking got fucking time. Because you may have time, but you're sacrificing for that time you say you have. You're sacrificing for having a better life in your 30s and 40s because you want to waste 5 years from 19 to 24. You want to waste 3 years from 15 to 18. Oh, I'm gonna wait till I'm 18. I'm just young. Oh, yeah, you can say that, but the person who says fuck that, I'm a grown ass person at age 15. They're gonna be more up than you, and you're gonna be hating on them. You're gonna be looking at them like, how the fuck they do it? They no, because you decide to take on that program. Because you got to remember, a lot of these programs they put out there have nothing to do with your well-being or your betterment in your life. These programs are for capitalism, corporation, and keeping this established and flowing in a certain way. So they need you thinking a certain way. They need you depressed. They need you anxiety. They need you retarded so you can fuel their new economy, which is clicks and views, attention. If you're in a healed, high vibing, clear minded state, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you're not going to be consuming a lot of these products that these corporations spend billions of dollars to make. So then they're going to have to lose, they're going to lose a lot of money. Corporations don't just make money out thin air, they make money from you. So they need you to be thinking a certain way to even like their product. If you're like, it's like to keep it very fucking simple. If you're a male, most likely you're not going to buy lipstick because you don't fit that program. So let's take it to a little bit more deeper. If you're not a retard and you actually have self-care for self, you're not going to spend as much money on products such as gaming products, fucking certain movies, watching certain fucking live streams on YouTube to make these people rich to distract. You're not going to be. So therefore, the companies and the advertisements, they lose money. You won't be eating McDonald's and Taco Bell. That's why a lot of these companies, they're going broke. They'll say the reason, one thing that's funny, they'll say Starbucks, Walmart, all these prices are, they're not really privy and know as much because they don't know what everyone's going through. But a lot of these corporations are losing money because the people are having a, people are realizing I can't eat this shit. There was a study, a thing came out that they put a lot of cancer causing shit in fucking Starbucks coffee. You see what I'm saying? So now it's forcing people to, some people to be like, okay, I don't want to eat this shit no more because I don't want to have this shit. I'm gonna make my own organic craft coffee at home. So that's that's part of why these companies are losing money. Not just because things are expensive. That's part of it, but a lot of it is because people are realizing they don't need this stuff. So once people awaken and they realize shit, corporations start losing money. That's why all the shit is not the same as it was 10, 15 years ago. That's probably why they're not even probably making the products as good because they know not as many people are going to be consuming their products as before. So why even make the products that good and put that much energy into it? Like this shit is changing. So you guys got to see what's going on. It's just crazy. And then they have all this shit on the news about all these Donald Trump passing these tariffs and shit. Don't pay attention to that shit because first of all, anybody that's paying attention to that shit, they don't even have a solution. It's all out of fear. So they're just like addicted to fear. They're not like they about to go out and create a hustle. And I'm not saying you got to go and do something to have them change it, but at least like they won't even go and use it to create a hustle. They won't even use it to go in and not even create a hustle. Fuck the hustle, but maybe like because like the way I look, like me, this fat, I don't even need to consume as much shit. Like my money's been just not really being spent as much because I'm not really, I don't need as much shit. Even when it came to water, I didn't even drink that much fucking water during this fast. It's like I'm sure not to need a lot of shit. So when you put yourself in a mindset, a lot of that shit don't even affect you. And I'm not saying nothing's gonna not affect you because we had that fucking fake ass shit 2020 where they put everybody in timeout and gave everybody a Daffy Duck fucking tip. I'm not saying shit ain't gonna affect you, but you guys see what I'm saying. Like a lot of this shit that they Gen Z probably won't remember, but back in the day when you watch like the fucking TV Guide network that have paid programming, they call it programming. So like they pay, the companies will pay to have a spot on TV to program you, and then they'll show the same paid programming over and over to put it in your mind. And you may say, well, I don't watch that. I don't need this medicine. I don't need this shit. That's stupid ass shit for 19.99. I don't need that crap. But it's not about you needing that particular product. It's just now it's the activist. So now when you're out in public and you feel like when you're lacking something, that paid programming, you'll revert to subconsciously to be like, I need to go and buy something, even though it has nothing to do with that product. So they're still getting you hooked because you may have a issue that has nothing to do with that product, but then your first instance is to go run to go get a product instead of actually going and work on self. So you don't even need the product because a lot of the problems you have isn't because the lack of the product, is because of you. Like even this AI shit. I'm not saying AI is like something that's completely useless, but a lot of the shit that people say like, oh, AI can make my business run quicker and I can push out more sales. But yet, if I'm not even using the product that your business sells, then why the fuck would I even need that fucking AI? So AI won't even be like, the reason AI is so important is because a lot of people are in a state of laziness and lack, and they don't know themselves, so therefore they need more shit. A fat ass nigga, he eats 20 cakes every day, He's gonna need an AI to make those cakes quicker so it can keep the price down to somebody who doesn't eat this shit. You won't even need that type of AI technology. You see what I'm saying? So like that's how you guys gotta look at it. All of this shit is just programming, and you really don't need shit at the end of the day. And the only reason you would need shit, because I'm not gonna say you won't need shit, but yeah, there is one reason you would need some stuff, and that's out of pleasure. That's out of just you want to have fun. And even then, when you have pleasure and fun, that's because you're lacking something. Because does fentanyl give you pleasure and fun? No, it doesn't. You're scared as fuck to do it, but it gives a homeless person pleasure and fun because he's rewired his brain to have that be happy for him. So don't you think it's the same for the shit you're happy with? You think that's somehow different? Not everybody likes what you like. Why do you have to like what you like? And I'm not saying certain things is good to like, but always look at it like I'm just doing this for pleasure and I want to have fun. And then whenever you want to be done with that experience, then that's when you could go and work on self and develop the mind to say, fuck that, I don't need that shit if it's something that's not important. Obviously, things you want to like and desire and have, but a lot of things you people like and desire ain't even that important. But then they go hit on this nigga for shooting up or getting high. It's like, nigga, it's the same type of addiction. And plus, why the fuck you hating on this nigga? It ain't your fucking body, it's his body, motherfucker. Like, you ruining your body with food. That's the worst fucking drug in the whole world. That's the worst drug is food. There's a lot of people who have illness. Everyone has a fucking illness. That's the thing they don't talk about. I observe life. When I talk to people, when I see people in real life, everyone has some type of illness or problem. But it's like it's been programmed to overlook it. So it makes it look like I'm the only one talking about it. Like, where it's like, no, people have just been programmed to live with it and accept it. There's no such thing as a natural cause of death. Anytime you go to a hospital, they say natural cause. That means it's caused by the body because the body is considered natural. So a heart attack is a natural cause. Diabetes is the natural cause. Don't think natural causes just you just die. No, you're just dying from something, and it's because of the food, the chemicals, and all that shit. And I'm not saying we ain't supposed to die, but who the fuck said you're supposed to die from a health illness? I'm not gonna say there is no way to die, but really, but there is. It is possible to just stop breathing and just drop dead. Whenever this, because death is just the spirit is done with this experience, and then the spirit leaves the body to have another experience and create another body and a mind. That's all death is. Transition to another body and a mind to have another experience. When the spirit doesn't, when the spirit's learned all the lessons it can, it's gonna take you out of that situation. If you're obviously on a fucked up path, you out here doing shit, you may get shot, you may get a car accident, you may have a health issue. But if you're on a righteous path, who to say you just fucking won't just leave like that? And maybe sometimes you may have certain karma and certain lessons you got to experience where shit happens. But who do, there's no way, nobody said you're supposed to die from a health illness. Death and health illness have nothing to do with each other. So when I speak about this, I'm not saying, oh, live forever. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not fucking saying that. I'm saying health has nothing to do with death. I understand that. Death is just what it is. The spirit leaving the body. The spirit can choose to leave the body whenever the fuck it wants. There's people who just, their heart just stops beating like that. They just talking and it is all of a sudden just, that's it. So like, that's what it is. Shout out to Famous Mallow. Shout out to Mystical Mysterio. What's good with it? Shout out to Paradox Hotel. I just want to come online just to say a little shit for you guys. Yeah, I'm about to be doing a lot more lives, and I probably might document my next fast. I might document it, and I'm gonna make a group fast. I just been busy doing a lot of other shit. I'm not gonna. That's another thing. I'm not gonna be speaking about what I'm doing on here because I don't know who the fuck's watching my channel. I don't trust YouTube at all. I don't trust this platform, so I don't speak about what I do in real life. You already got fucking dumbass haters that try to ruin shit. Like you got me fucked up. You think I'm gonna talk about a business or something I got going on with real people on here? Just have some bitch ass troll sit there and be like, oh, he made a video like that other nigga who made a video. No way needs to be run off YouTube, and he started clipping all these old videos. Nigga, fuck you, bitch. Like that's why I ain't telling you niggas shit. Just for you to go and clip some video, I may have a money move or a situation I got fucking going on. I got a money move or a situation I got going on, and fucking you go and clip some shit, and then you fuck that shit up. because of something. Nigga, fuck you. I'm not playing that fucking game. So I'm not telling nobody nothing I got going on in here.
Yo,
I was good. I thought you were a troll for a minute.
nah. It's
I
Mysterio,
seen
but
M
like,
M M. I didn't see your face. What's good with it,
nah,
Mysterio?
yeah, it's Mysterio. I came here because like I wanted like to talk because of last time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you better. I turned up my media. I have to go on my fucking like when I want to turn up the volume, I can't turn it up by clicking the volume on the side of my phone. I have to go in my sound settings and turn up the media. I don't know why it has that.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is like um, do you have any like other social media than YouTube? Because like I'm starting a Qigong course and like I want to like lead people the way and stuff.
No,
Um.
I'm gonna be making some. So I have social media, but I'm gonna be making some new social media exclusively for this channel and stuff. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. I've been doing a lot of other shit, but I'm actually the next fast I start. What I'm on a fast right now. Actually, I'm gonna be ending it probably Saturday.
Mhm.
Well, I will not even. I don't even. I just go until I feel like I can't go no more. So right now I'm
Mhm.
on 11 days. So I'm gonna go this one as long as I can, and then like I'm kind of feeling like I want to end it probably with like a smoothie or something. But I feel like I can go a little bit longer.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. Right.
So
Right.
when I
Right.
start the new one, I'm gonna do a fast, a group fast. I'm gonna make a Facebook group. I need to make a new page, Facebook group, and then I'm gonna drop the link to it on this channel, and then everyone can get on there, and then we're gonna just start the fast. And you go as long as you can. I'm not gonna be, oh, we gotta do three, because fuck the days. The days really don't mean anything. Because I'm trying to make it a lifestyle where we're doing this regularly. Well, at least I'm doing it regularly, and I'm gonna let you guys know I'm doing my fast. You can get on. You don't have to do it, but it's gonna keep me accountable as well. So
Right. 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 That's funny because like Qigong, because like I was like doing Qigong, like that shit kept me up all night. Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's like it's better than coffee. Like in the morning, instead of having some coffee with all that toxic shit and all that chemicals, do qigong
Right.
or do qigong and then have some like I don't know. I'm gonna be looking into green tea. I heard green tea is good for caffeine, like matcha tea. I was because I was like, I got there's something just told me in my head like matcha. I don't
Mhm.
even look at it. Like even when I was sick back in 2019,
Mhm.
I was hella when I was hella sick, I was going through my inflammation and shit from the tooth infection.
Mhm.
I remember like I heard a voice say echinacea. I've never knew what the fuck echinacea was. It's like
Mhm.
echinacea. I look online, I was like echinacea, and I seen it. It was at Target. I went to Target. I stole me a bunch of like about 2 packs of that shit of tea, and then I
Mhm.
made it at home, and it helped my inflammation. I didn't even
Mhm.
need fucking. I didn't even need um like it helped me get through that. Like if I didn't have that, it would have been a lot harder. But
Right.
then something, yeah, something told me today like matcha the other day. I think yesterday I was like, because I'm thinking about ending my thing, and I was like matcha because I was like I'm gonna eat a smoothie. But I thought like it's like matcha, and I heard of matcha before, but I never really looked into it. It didn't look like something I like. But then when I looked up the shit, I'm like, maybe this can help me on my fast. Maybe if I put like a little in the smoothie, drink it and give me some energy because it gives you energy, and it does some other shit too, inflammation and stuff. But
Right. Right.
do
Right.
that with some, you do that with some qigong, green
Mhm.
tea with that matcha tea with some qigong. That's good for the morning. You don't need coffee and all that.
Right. Bro, coffee is dead ass some like white corporate office man shit. I don't know. I never fuck with it like that. Like I kind of fuck with it in terms of like, okay, I might drink some coffee because, you know, I might drink it that day, but I never seen it as like a go to. You know what I'm saying? Like coffee just sound like some shit like somebody in a corporate office would like fucking drink. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like
Like,
the only time I ever drank it when I was going to the gym heavy, because I would be like tired in the morning, and I'll just drink some, and it'll give me energy to go do my workout. That's the only time. Everyone, you guys see me doing my workouts back when I was living in the house and shit. You guys will see
hmm
me do it. That's the only time I'll drink coffee. and I wouldn't even drink the whole cup. I just drink enough to give me energy, and then I'll throw that other shit out. I wouldn't even
Right.
like, yeah. So that's the
Right.
only time I ever fuck. And even when I drank it, I didn't even like the taste of it. But then I got used to it because like I could see how people get addicted to it. I didn't get addicted, but like I put like creamer in it and sugar, and then in the mornings I'd be looking forward to it, kind of. But it only because it gave me energy to work out. If I didn't have to work out, I would. That shit was nasty. But I looked forward for it just so I could give me energy and shit. And then I
Right.
remember, yeah,
Right. Right. That's funny as shit. And
yeah,
speaking of energy and shit, I went to a casino and bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I see what you saying, but like most humans is reprobates because there was a lot of people there. Like
yeah,
it was more people, and then I got involved, and I ended up spending all my money and stuff.
yeah,
You know what I'm
damn,
saying? And it's like
yeah.
the energies in there was flunked out. Like
Like you just felt the negative tension.
yeah,
That's how it was when I was going to Atlanta on the airplane. Like I hadn't been on an airplane for like damn near 10 years since 2016. And
mm,
when I went on the air, you'll think at an airport everybody's in a good mood. You got to go on vacation. You got to go out and travel. But like the energy was so toxic. I could just feel it, and it's so negative. And that's why I say you want to get in a good headspace because when you're in a good headspace, then you don't that shit doesn't phase you. You don't. I'm not saying it's not there, but you don't observe it because you got to also look at it like yeah, there's negative energy there, but if you're so sensitive to it where you're picking up and it's affecting you and making you feel some type of way, there's some type of lack of self like work you're not doing on self because that shit shouldn't even when I was on this last fast I did, this long fast I did, like I don't even I can't even remember days I was like, oh the energy I just walk past people and it's funny because people even be like, "Oh, hey, say hi to me and shit." Like, but like people never used to say hi. Like, fucking bitches, like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And like, I just said, "What's up?" But I wasn't even stunning
hmm
anybody. So it's like
right.
you gotta, a lot of it. You have to just learn how to phase it out.
Well,
And this
yeah,
is where
I was phasing it out, but it was like I was just like, okay, let me peep what some of these people on. I was like, man, this is some flunked out ass shit. I'm not really phased by it, but
I
it's
feel,
like,
I feel, you're not phased. I didn't mean to say phased by, it, but it's like you notice it.
yeah, I
That's the
noticed
thing.
it.
Yeah, but when you really on your shit, you don't even notice it. If anything, you won't notice it as much. So
Hmm
therefore, you don't even give a fuck about it. That's what I meant, and I see exactly where you're coming from though, because that's why like certain places like you go to those, especially malls. Like the mall is probably one of the most toxic places ever. Like certain places is good, but like the mall and when I went to the airport, I can't really say the airport. I went to the airport once. Actually, yeah, the airport because I went when I came back, it was the same thing. Like the
hmm
bitch at the fucking line, like, because like me, I'm the type of person like I'll have an attitude back to you, you have an attitude to me because I'm Pisces, so we show like a mirror to you what
hmm
needs to be seen because Pisces is spiritual, so I'm gonna show you what the fuck your spirit needs to see subconsciously or consciously. So
hmm
the stupid Asian bitch, she's in front of the line and she's all like fucking. She was talking to another customer, and I went and I said because they didn't give me a boarding pass, but I paid for the ticket. So I'm thinking like, can I just show the same pass on my phone as like, the other one? So I asked the lady like, can I show the same? She was talking to the lady, which okay, I understand, but she could have been like, wait a minute, I'm talking to the lady. The lady who she was talking to, like, cause when I asked her, she looked at me and then she ignored me and kept talking to the other lady. And then the lady who she was talking to was like, sorry, but she was more respectful. She was like, um, she said something, but it wasn't disrespect. I'm like, how can the lady she's talking to respond to me, but you can't respond to me and you work here? So then I just said, let it go. And when she was taking my shit in, after I waited in line and after the lady was done, I asked her a question and she had an attitude. So I just when she's like, I asked her a question, she's like, no, you got to get another boarding pass. And then and she's like, what's your name? And then and I need your name and your ID. And then and when she said it, she said like in an attitude. And then I threw my ID at her ass. And then when she printed out a boarding pass, I snatched that shit from her hand. I didn't even say thank you. I didn't cuss her out. I didn't cuss her out.
Yo.
I didn't cuss her out, and I didn't even have a mean look. When she said, "Can I see your ID and can I see your thing?" I guess she got mad or whatever, and like she looked like she was raised. I just threw my ID on the thing, and she knew I didn't give a fuck. But I did it with like a regular, like I wasn't like I was just like I just threw that shit on the ground on the table, and then when she gave it to me, I just snatched that shit from her hand and I walked. She couldn't say shit because I didn't cuss her out. I didn't do anything, but I know she felt that negative energy. Don't
Yo,
do that shit to me, bitch.
that's funny because like usually when I'm in places I don't really notice it. Usually, like people be around me playing out flunked out energies. I don't notice it, but
Yeah.
that day I was just observing people. I'm like, okay, what type of spirits is here? And it's like, okay, I realize that in certain situations that you get yourself into, like motherfuckers is like on like that type of timing most of the time and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's like, go ahead.
it's like it's like after doing qigong, it's like how do I put this? It's like people kind of gravitate to where you what, or when you get around them, like they could kind of feel your energy or like giddy and shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, like they either respect it or they'll hate it. That's either two ways. Like, cause your aura, you're building your aura field, your energy. When you're doing qigong and all that, you're tapping into your. Everyone has their energy, but some people's energy is weak because they don't work on it. But you're expanding it, you're tapping into it. So that's what people are probably picking up on. But then it plays out like when they're around you, they may have certain thoughts about you or certain feelings, or they may look at you a certain way. It could be good or bad. Sometimes people
Right,
may, like that's because you're working with your energy body. That's why at the end of the workout, we're like, they got the qigong ball. It's not like that's your own energy field. It's not like you're grabbing it or something else that just you developed and out of. It's your field. That's what you're working on.
right, right, right. You absolutely right. And it's funny because like somebody was talking about levels to qigong. Um, so like from your experience, do you think there's more levels? Oh, hello.
What was that? Repeat what you said. I have to go.
Oh, from your experience, do you think there's more levels?
Yeah, the energy doesn't stop. You keep going forever. Like, and just people have been doing it for like 10 years, and they say the energy's still building.
Okay,
So it's like
okay,
it's levels to this shit.
okay,
Levels.
okay. Bet because like I'm reaching to a level where like sometimes like I'll stop qigong for 1 or 2 days, and like for some reason the energy is still building. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm. Yeah, that's how I was able to do this long ass fast. And
mhm.
because I've been doing breath work. Because I've been doing a lot of breath work. Um, days I don't do qigong. Some days I don't do qigong because when I'm doing my fast and I be doing things. But when the days I don't do qigong, I do this the same amount of time I do breath work, which is all it's a form of building what they call prana energy. Yoga, breath work, and qigong. They're all you're building prana. And what I realized when I went on my fast, it was a lot easier because this is the first long fast I did since before I did qigong. So this fast when I did it, it was a lot easier. And even when I ended my last 6 day fast, 6, 7 day fast, I didn't even need that much food. Like when I was hungry, but when I was gonna end it, I was hungry, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat this, that. I only eat like I cooked a meal, and then this was before was into the smoothie shit. I cooked the meal, and I only ate half of that, and then that's what made me realize like maybe I don't even need solid food. I could just go to liquid, and then I did a liquid one after like 3 days to test it out, and then after that I did 11 days. I'm like I'm straight,
Right,
and
right, right.
so, and like I may eat solid next time because I ordered some like it's like some Nigerian soup. that like they don't sell it because there's no Nigerian restaurants out here. Nothing. The only time I can get it is if my dad makes it or I go to a Nigerian party, which I don't go. So it's like that shit's like one of my favorite fucking dishes. So that shit I might fuck that up. And even like then, like I probably won't even be able to fuck the whole thing up because like it's maybe too much. It's too heavy, too dense. Because it's like a certain like type of food. They call it fufu. It's hella dense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's hella good. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian dish. That shit's hella good.
Mm-hmm. I might try that shit, but yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you for bringing real knowledge because like I'll be looking at YouTube videos at Qigong and shit, and it's like it's always some white man, no racist shit. It's always some white man.
I know. I feel you. I hate that shit. Like when I watch it, it's like the type of people that do it are so off-putting. You don't even want to watch it because the way their energy is, and it's just very off-putting. That's why it's good me and you are in this because we could probably bring something to this. So that odd because like a lot of people like let's just say in the hood regular people they may be off put it by it because when they go look it up they have a certain perception because they see this old ass cracker doing it or some fucking Chinese bitch that doesn't even look like she
Right,
could relate to anyone but her own fucking Ming dynasty, whatever. So it gives us it could put you in a situation like I don't want to watch this dumbass shit because no one
right,
they don't bring it down and they correlate it too much to Chinese culture, which okay, I get it. Chinese people they do did it and whatever, but at the end of the day, the human body isn't Chinese. People need to fucking remember that. And this is all having to do with the human body. Fuck your culture. Me, especially me as an average person, I don't give a fuck about anybody's culture but my own. Like
mm-hmm.
I don't
Right,
care. So I don't know why it's so correlated to Chinese culture, which that's the problem. Like motherfuckers who do that, you even see this that other people that do it. I don't want to shout out nobody. They're not even Chinese yet. They be fucking talking about it like in a Chinese way. Like, bitch, make up your own name for it. Make up your own way of doing it, your own style and cadence to doing this.
right. I call it I call it energy exercise, or I call it mystic flow for me. Um,
This that's a beautiful. That's good. Do
yeah,
that. Like make up your own name. That's good.
right, right. But like I was looking up, I was doing the same thing as you said, and it's like you right. Like they always want to correlate it to some Chinese stuff, or if it's not Chinese stuff, they want to like make money off of you, and it's like I'm like, bro, what? Like y'all haven't. Don't get me wrong though, the exercises probably do work, but it's like the people it's coming from, it's like
Yeah,
complete.
it's like I know what you're saying. Like the human body is not Chinese. People got to remember that. Health is not Chinese. A meridian, that's not Chinese. But they correlate it like they have some type of intellectual property over that, which this is the reason why I think a lot of people don't even know about it or do it because they look at it like it's a cultural thing, which is not. Taking care of your health isn't cultural. It's
Right,
something everyone. It's a human culture, I guess. Because if you're in a fucking human body, you're part of the human culture. So you got fucking an awareness of you being in a body, regardless if you have legs or arms. And you can even do qigong bedridden. They don't. You can do it. No one talks about it, but you can be bedridden and be paralyzed in a bed and do qigong, and it'll still work with just using your mind.
right. I actually did that the other day. Use Qigong with my mind, and it actually worked.
Damn, I never tried that, but like anybody can do it. That's what I'm saying. Like when you, it gets deep,
Right, right,
and you could.
and I actually looked up. There's some sexual Qigong exercises I did. I would say it was valid, but
Yeah,
the dude.
I heard you gotta like. There's some that like you gotta be careful, and I don't know, but there's one that you could see tapping on the testicles and shit. There's different types of ones. I don't know about those ones like that, and because some of them you gotta know exactly what you're doing. That's why, like, if I was like the best way to learn is from self. Like
Mhm.
tap into self, and your own guidance would teach you what you need to be doing and what's good and not. Because where else do you think a lot of these people they get this from? They got it from at one point they pick it up from tradition and passed down. But at one point, somebody was able to actually get it from themselves. Like the human body has like an instruction manual. Like if you gotta buy a Samsung TV as an instruction manual, the human body comes with an instruction manual, but you have to tap into self to really read that instruction manual. That's why they're able to tell you, oh, meridian runs on the back of the legs. They're not like some fucking genius that just know that. And then they tapped into self. Well, I guess you could say the spirit knows, but the body has an instruction manual and it was designed and created a certain way. So you have to tap into self to be able to know exactly, because you know all this because your spirit and human body, you create this body, so you know all of it. So you got to tap into self, and then you don't even need, you can bypass all these motherfuckers and just learn it, teach from your own state of being.
Right, right. Exactly. And that's all I was like saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like all these people on here, but really you need to like just know it yourself and shit. And it was like, you
Mhm.
know, that's why I was like, okay, maybe I just need to do the Qigong exercises by myself instead of like, you know, going off as like you said, some cracker on the internet.
For real.
That's like
I'm not saying like he ain't, what he's teaching isn't right, but at the end of the day, like what he's teaching is something that is like a fucking like if I go and I watch somebody doing something and I teach it, yeah, I'm right, but you got the information because it's a blueprint. This isn't something creative. Qigong isn't something like music. Health isn't creative. You got to understand, our health is a linear practice that takes certain things. Obviously, if you put fucking um poison and drugs in your body, that's not healthy. So there's no way around it. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna put drugs in my body and make it healthy." No, this is not creative. Health is, this is why it's the sixth house, Earth. The sixth house is routine. It's the same thing. So just because somebody knows about Qigong doesn't mean they creative and they know this. And you're not creating no way. The body works in a certain way, and then once you know that certain way, then that's what it is. This
right,
with the
right,
meridians, like the bladder meridian, it runs the back of the legs, and then they have like the lung meridian runs in the middle of the elbow and the hand. There's different meridians. They got some that go throughout the body. The liver may go. You see what I'm saying? And they got meridians on the bottom of the foot. That's a routine. It's a certain spot. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna make the back of the leg be fucking the heart because I feel like it to make my own little way." No, it's six houses. It's routine. It's the same shit. It's Earth. It's
right,
grounded in the same practical, boring shit. It's not nothing new and creative. It's not the fucking 12th house where you're creative and you can make something out of nothing. And
man.
this shit was already created. So you gotta always remember that. Don't think these motherfuckers like they know some type of shit that you don't know.
Right, right, right. It becomes over exaggeration at that point. Like, well, I got this
Mm-hmm.
book. I got this book. I'm like, bro, chill out with all the books and shit, cause like
For
anybody
real.
could.
Yeah, and the people with the most books are the people who don't know the most. That's what I've seen. Like when I see somebody with a whole bunch of books in the back, there's a bunch of books from nothing. Like you gotta understand, like the whole concept of a library, encyclopedia, and a whole doctrine is all created by these Masons. But we already see today that they're attacking people that don't even read books. And like you niggas had all these books, you niggas burnt books, you niggas made copies. They spent million. I heard this stupid ass nigger talking about fucking how he's a church nigger. He's all, oh, the fucking the Pope and the Vatican and the cathedral, they spent $2.4 million to have all the Bibles remastered and renovated, because I guess like the Bibles were like they were old from like in the hundreds of years ago, and then they spent millions of dollars to do all that shit. So like it just tells you like these motherfuckers, they keep a lot of the books they burn. They have to remaster a lot of these Bibles and encyclopedias and these history books so to keep them up to date so they don't lose that information. It shows you how they cling on to books and Bible, because if they don't spend millions of dollars remastering that shit, they'll spend millions of dollars remastering a whole library of books. And they do that because if they don't, that information will be gone forever because they're fucking stupid. They don't have the same tapped in energy within. They have to rely on those books and go by the same hand me down traditional shit. They can't just know shit. And then they attack people who just know shit, who don't even have books. And I'm like, so obviously those books ain't really as. And I'm not saying there's nothing in books, but you gotta look at, like, when I go to Barnes and Noble to go to the Starbucks and shit and just chill because it's connected to the mall. I go over there sometimes. Like, I'm looking at like this whole place of books, but then like the everyone who's there who's reading the books is a fucking idiot. Like, for real. Like, I'll go to like I'll go to different stores in the mall and I'll see and observe the employees. Out of all the stores in the mall that I go to, the employees with the most mental illness work at Barnes and Noble. They're the most racist acting. They're the most mentally ill. There's this one bitch. I don't know if she's a man or she's a female or she's in transition, but she's just looking very angry. So you already know, like, she has the. I already knew she has the mental illness because for you to be a fucking female, and I can't even tell if you're a male or female, you obviously been abused, traumatized, been through some type of mental, psych warping in your mind where it caused you to become like that. So off the bat, I knew the bitch was crazy. But she's walking around with an angry attitude. This bitch been working at that library for like 2 years, ever since I moved out here. 2 years,
Hmm.
and I'm like angry as. And then the other bitches looking angry. And this is a place of books. Even when I go to the library, like the people who work at the library, they're very dumb. They're stupid. And it's not like they don't read books. It's just the books they read are retarded. Like, ain't nobody want to watch that read that stupid dumbass bitch fucking from the 40s, the Mason, Freemason, Eastern Star bitch talking about her retarded ass life, some stupid ass story, Cat in the Hat. That shit don't bring you knowledge. They say, oh, books make you smart. No, they don't. It depends what the fuck you're reading. And if you even have to, we had a time right now, if you have to read too many books, I'm gonna question your smartness. Unless you're reading a book on how to fucking build a fucking a Temu warehouse with cheap ass product to sell, you're reading a book about that, like them Chinamen do, how to build a stick or a car and be crafty like those Chinamen. Unless you're reading a book about that, nigga, you ain't doing shit. The fuck you reading? Just some fucking poetry. What the fuck is a fuck about poetry, nigga? That's called rap, nigga. Go
I
rap, be a
think
rapper. That's the best poetry if you would talk about.
I think people who read books, they're in spaces learning just to learn. They're like they're
No,
receiving.
most people who read books are just reading it the same reason somebody watches Netflix. It depends what you're reading. If you're just reading a retarded ass book about a fucking fiction alien that came down and fucking probed a fucking human being that got a fucking fetish for fake ass alien because he's a sick fuck, then obviously that's not intelligent. You're just reading the same way you're reading that dumbass book. You're the same way somebody's watching Netflix. That's why they'll have movies based on books, and then the person who read the book will be so hyped to watch the fucking movie because the book wasn't really shit. Like, if you could make a movie off a book, 9 times out of 10, the book wasn't even intellectual or nothing. You just read it for entertainment, which is nothing wrong with reading for
Hmm.
entertainment. Just like people play video games for entertainment, people watch Netflix entertainment. That's what you're reading that book. You're reading that for entertainment. You
Right. I
ain't
see what
smart
you're
because you read a
saying.
book,
I see what you're saying. People who read books think they smarter than everybody, low key.
and they're really retarded.
Yo, that's funny because like when I was in school and shit, people who read books would act like, "Oh, bro, the book was better. The book was better than this TV show." I'm like, don't nobody want to sit there and read the whole book.
And how about maybe because a book is a book and a movie's a movie? Dumbass, it's two different things. And like, how can you even compare? It's obviously a movie is a movie, a book is a book. Somebody who fucking hates book and likes movies, they're gonna obviously the movie's better. And unless you want to talk about like I can see like if you want to say like it don't even make sense. Even if you're watching an instruction manual on how to build a car, watching somebody do it is gonna be watching somebody do it and explain it is gonna be better than just a book. And even if you want to say the book is better, you having the book as well as watching somebody is going to be even better. But just solely the book alone, for most people, isn't better. The movie's better. The only time people say the book was better is when it's something that has nothing to do with intelligence, like a fiction book, Harry Potter. Obviously, who gives a fuck? Harry Potter's a retarded ass fiction, fake ass story for merely entertainment. So when you say the book is better, you're not saying much about books, dumbass, because the book is retarded as it is. It's Harry fucking Potter. The movie's retarded as it is. It's Harry Potter. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's dumb why people like will say, oh, the book is better, but then they'll compare it to some dumbass content. Dumbass book that has no intellect whatsoever. That's merely for entertainment on both spectrums, book and movie. Entertainment.
That's funny you say that. And it's like, you know, when you was in school, like, did you go to school with like nerdy people and shit?
Not really. Like there were some like nerd people and shit, and like most of them aren't doing shit. They're not like most of the people who are like nerd because especially nowadays, like you can't be like no nerd. No one gives a fuck about you being a nerd nowadays. You gotta like have some type of creativity. Because back then it was more like, oh, you gotta be a nerd. You gotta have a book. You gotta learn about science and all this. Which don't get me wrong, it's good to learn about that. But if you're a nerd and you know about science, you better be like fucking Jimmy Neutron and creating a something in a lab. If you're just a
Mhm.
nerd, just fucking to pass some SATs, you're a fucking piece of shit, idiot. I mean, who gives a fuck
NPC,
about that, nigga? Who
you're an
cares
NPC.
about you? You're not important.
That's funny because like I was looking at people, I was doing internal shadow work, and I was like, okay, let me. I was looking at people who like I graduated high school with, and I was like, damn, like I used to play football with them, and I was like, damn, I wonder what they up to and shit like that. And bro, like a lot of people from high school and stuff like that, it's like this shit, motherfuckers really is NPCs. Like everybody into the same thing, Jesus Christ. Um, everybody goes to college. Um, I'm like, bro, and then like I remember like people was telling me to go to college. Bro, turns out everybody dropping out and shit. I'm like, the world
Because
is
they
changing.
can't get no work. Because all these employers, they don't give a fuck about a degree. That's why Walmart or they said they're not accepting. You don't. You can be a corporate employee at Walmart or certain companies, and you don't need a degree. They dropped that because it doesn't matter. Because a lot of the people that are going to school nowadays, at one point when you went to school, I could say like probably when my parents was growing up in the 90s, 80s, when they were going, then okay, or the 80s when they were going. Then at that point it was different. But now we're like in a different time where it's looked at as suspect. The average person who goes to school now is somebody who doesn't know, like, because usually in this capitalistic system, if you're living with parents and they're average people, they're gonna tell you you gotta go to work or go to school. Most people who don't have a way to sustain themselves, who wanna still stay home and buy time and pretend that they're in their teens, even though they're not, they go to school. So
Hmm.
this leads a whole bunch of people going to school not really wanting to go. So even though they get straight A's and they pass the SATs, it's only they don't have a passion for engineering. So they only learn about the textbook side of engineering and they don't learn about the innovative creative side so you can engineer your own PlayStation. So this leaves a whole bunch of useless degrees, not because they're useless because it's a degree, but people just want to get the degree, work at Microsoft, and have Microsoft tell them what to do and type on a computer and get paid $100,000 a year. You're a fucking idiot if you think you're gonna do that. You got to at least be innovative to want to bring something and maybe make up your own. If you're not going to engineering school to create your own motherboard and AI and your own little 3D printing station to print products so you can sell and not have to go to Walmart. If you're not trying to do that as an engine with the engineering degree, you're wasting your fucking time. What the fuck is the point of getting an engineering just to go work at Boeing? They're about to go fucking bankrupt. Not even like go bankrupt. They're just gonna go. They may go bankrupt, but yet lay off a whole bunch of people. And now you have a bunch of corporate people that are getting laid off and complaining on TikTok how like bitch because they don't need you no more. Why the fuck would I can't pay you like tens, hundreds of? Why would I pay that whole division and department hundreds of millions of dollars every year in salary if I could just fire your ass, keep my hundreds of million, and still get the same shit done by some AI? You're not doing nothing innovative. You're not bringing. You just wanted me to tell you what to do and type on a computer, bitch. I need somebody to help me innovate. So that's one of the many reasons they're not hiring these little bastards. And then they think like, oh, this fucked up. I got a degree. Now, bitch, nobody told you get that fucking degree. You got that shit on your own stupid ass accord.
Right. And it's funny you say that because like some people I know in high school they dropped out of college um in like their first or second year and shit like that.
Yeah,
But I noticed that like a lot of people who go to college like that's like they really like the people that's like either confused.
you can exactly. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, like they're either confused either confused or number two, they want to live their teenage life out.
Yeah, they don't know what to do, and
Yeah,
they it's like they want to buy time and have somewhere to stay because if they don't go to work or go to school, whoever they're living with is gonna start making them walk on eggshells. They got to do something, and then they don't want to go to work, so then they can go to school and just waste time, and then eventually they get a degree. Like I know somebody who like they were gonna take fucking they took veterinarian. And I know this in my personal life. I know somebody. They took veterinarian, and then they dropped out of that because they didn't like it because they're like, oh, I don't like how they do with animals, and I don't agree with the practices in veterinarian. You should have known that before going to any medical degree within the U.S. under their circumstance. Like I don't practice holistic healing, so they dropped out more than halfway through. So all that debt, I don't know how much debt they have for that. And then they went into computer programming, took that for like half a year, I think, and they dropped out of that because they said it was too much. And then they went into fucking they know they went into something else before they went into the EMT thing. They went into something else, but then they went to EMT, which was last year. This is a person I know personally, I know very good. So I'm not just saying, I'm not like somebody I just met one time. I know this person very well. So they went into EMT and they
hmm
got their fucking, they were high excited for it. Motherfucker tried to tell me, oh, you should go look in the EMT. You get your degree, they pay you good and all this shit. I'm like, fuck out of here. I ain't getting no damn EMT. And shit, and they went into it, got their EMT thing. When they got the EMT card, they showed me the card, everything. I'm like, okay, um, damn, this person's really interested in this. And I thought like, okay, this is the last thing, they gotta get their EMT. They worked at EMT, was just doing it. They were working at it in SoCal, and they were doing it, and then all of a sudden, like now, the same individuals like living with somebody and what talking about I need to go find a trade and shit. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, what happened? I didn't even say what happened to EMT, but like they didn't like it. It's like, why you keep switching? And it's like, that's the problem. A lot of these
Yo,
people, even if they were to get hired at some of these corporate places, it's like it's going to be another battle. Because there's people I know that work corporate, or I see like friends and they have family members, and they hate that shit. The commute from where I stay, the traffic because you got to go through the mountains and show the hills to go to the Bay Area. The commute is like fucking 2 hours and shit because everybody's commuting. It's not as bad as it was years ago because everybody's like working at home and shit. But most people, but it's still fucking bad. Like the commute. I remember when I was living in that. Remember I was living in a house a couple years ago. I
yeah.
would come over to go visit family, and because I was staying in the Bay Area, and then I had to come to the Valley. So I will see that traffic, and I'll be in traffic for at least an hour and a half. And people have to do that shit every day. So you go to 9 to 5, and then after 9 to 5, you got an hour and a half coming home. This is the reason why YouTube is so popping because during that commute, everybody has nothing to do but be on their phone watching YouTube. So that's another reason why a lot of people get views on YouTube and shit because people are living boring ass lives and they have to fucking find something to distract them on their way home or on their way there or whatever. So you go home and when you're coming back, it's an hour and a half. So you come home around 8. You don't have time to do shit but just eat shit, shave, and fucking scroll on your phone and watch dumbass videos. And then when Friday comes, you're so like you want to have as much fun as you can, but you can only do so much. So like even when you're like I was at Dave and Buster's a few months ago with some friends and family and shit, and you can just tell it was on a Sunday. I think it was on a Sunday or a Saturday, but it was on a weekend. I know for a fact, and you can just see like people there with their kids and family and the way the energy was. You think as a happy place, Dave and Buster's, everybody. Back in the day when I was young, you go to Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's, any of these places, it's a happy fucking place.
hmm
Like everyone's chilling, laughing. You probably have a conversation with one of the people and shit, and not even know you're having a conversation because it was so like fluid and everybody was just in a good mood. And when you're in a situation like that, everyone's more well. But now like everyone's so it's like the same energy you said at the fucking the place you said the gambling place. It's the same energy. Like everyone's so stressed because they're thinking about work, they're thinking about having to go back, and they're trying to force fun and happiness, which is not something you have to force. It's something you have to have. So like they're trying to force it so they can say, okay, I need to get my money's worth. I need to get my time worth. It's all about getting their worth. Oh, it's my money's worth. I work these hours. So I should go out here. I need to. That's why people leave the house and they go drinking. It's not that they really want to. It's because they feel like if they don't, they're not getting their time worth. So now it leaves them doing shit that's actually not even cater to their spirit and their well-being because they feel like they have to do it. Otherwise, they're not going to get their worth. If you get what I'm saying. So like
Yeah,
it
right.
leaves a whole bunch of mental illness and shit. So I was at the Dave and Buster's and I just see everyone just so miserable. Even niggas with their family and kids. The kids is having like young kids, they having fun and shit. But you see like the adults and shit. Cause like I realize like a lot of these people that have kids, it hit me like they're like around my age. Cause I look so young and shit. So sometimes it's easy for me to forget like these niggas is old as fuck. So I'm like, because they can't be in their 40s. They have to be around my age. And like they look so damn stressed. They kind of remind me of like even my parents weren't stressed like that. Like when I grew up, my parents were always like in a like not even in a stressful mood. But that was a different time. We're in a different time where like most of that shit doesn't work. So they're like so stressed. Even when I see people with kids, you can tell they don't even want those fucking kids. Like they're just like, get over here. Yeah, and they don't even have a conversation with the kids. Like their kid is just a fucking it's a stranger to them. Or it's like they talk to their kid like is a stranger. Like they get social anxiety around their children. That's how people act nowadays. It's weird. And I'm like, this whole world is like really fucked up.
Yo,
Not
that's
the way the world ain't fucked up, but the people's mindset due to this synthetic fake ass system, it's fucked up. I don't want to
that,
put this on the world. It has nothing to do with the world. The world, a squirrel is still eating its food and its nuts and climbing its tree. A bird is still shitting on motherfuckers' cars and eating bird feeds. So you can't tell me the world's different. It's fucking synthetic shit. Because I see animals still acting the same way as they did in the 90s. Why the fuck is human beings talk about we got to be in the 90s? Bitch, a bird's still acting the same way. A bird ain't changed up since the 90s. So obviously, whatever changes, some human fake ass shit. And it ain't for the better. Because at least if it was a change, at least be for the fucking better. It ain't even for that.
it's some for some synthetic shit, and I agree with you
Yeah.
because it's like, damn. So these people, we're like, I'm looking at it as a perspective of like, okay, you know, most of us don't want to work. Period. Well, it's not about working. It's like it's just why would you
Working on
overcome?
self.
Hmm?
No, nobody wants to work for the system.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to overcommit to the system, and it's like people who overcommit to the system, aka they go to college, get a job, like they're miserable right now, and you starting to see that, like like it's like a it's it's like it's like damn, it's like they really doing what they told to do instead of being like
Mm-hmm.
instead of being
And
like what you just said, like
yeah,
if I'm
and
gonna get
they
this
have the
engineering degree.
audacity. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not. It's people are not doing what you just said. Like, okay, if about to get this engineering degree, I'm about to create some whole new other shit. No, people are getting the engineering degree because, oh, I get to sit behind somebody else and I get paid thousands of dollars.
Exactly. And then and on top of that, they like, I want to work from home, so they pay you all that. Like, I don't get me wrong, that would be good to get paid just to sit at home, but you gotta logically think about it. What corporation? If I own a corporation, I'm not paying some motherfucker to sit at home and type numbers on a fucking screen. I'm gonna fucking like make you work and get your fucking word. That's why when you go to like places like Japan and China, the infrastructure is so massive and the technology is so ahead of America. It's because it's not because it's a good thing per se. You could say it's good, like if they have infrastructure, but the people there are stressed. Did you know in China, if you work a regular job like the equivalent of McDonald's, this is real talk. This is not no, I'm not faking it. Look it up. If you go to China and you work a minimum wage job or like a warehouse job, or you work at like a Dollar Tree store, a grocery store, or a restaurant, just a regular job that the average person works in America, the most people work. You have to work six days a week and like 15 hours a day. But you have to. If you don't, you can't get hired. But the thing is, though, the rent is cheaper, so you can actually pay. You can actually work a shit job in China and pay like fucking. They pay you probably like 1,000 or 2,000 yuan a month or some shit. Let's say, and then you probably can fucking have rent for like 200 you want. So the rent is you could work a shit job there and pay rent, and then the house is normal. It's not like a piece of shit per se. It's a normal, but the cost is you got to work overtime. But the reason they do that because they know if you're working that hard, you need somewhere to stay. That you
Right.
need because you're gonna have to recuperate and rest. So that's why they changed the system. And when you look at the way China is built, the real estate, the infrastructure is such more immersive. It's massive compared to the US because they work their people. You go to China, you see how they have technology and it's so advanced is because the people there, when they work for Samsung, Nissan, and all these other companies in Japan, they're more they have to work even harder. So remember I told you about the innovation thing?
Hmm.
People in America, they're not innovative because they're not worked as hard, and then the culture isn't like that. So therefore, it reflects on the situation. So like that's what I'm saying. Like it's you got people. That's why I say people got to look at it like that.
Yeah. America culture is not a like America culture was never like I don't think America culture was about like America culture is all about like you having a bright idea and then you sitting on your ass making money off of that idea. That's how I just see people in Elon Musk. That's what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, they don't do shit. That's all they do. They just sit on their ass and tell people what to do. That's all. Everything that's been built in this country, everything that's been fucking all the work that's been done is not from the people who run this shit. They didn't do shit. They just paid somebody to do it. All they did was think of money and had people programmed to believe their money's important. And then once you have billions of millions of people to believe your money's important, you just give your money to people and tell them to build this building, build this brick, and call it Dollar Tree, and put these products in the store. Make these cheap products, put it in the store, sell it. Why do I have to do that? Because I'm gonna give you this money. That's all it is. They didn't do shit. Is the people built it? So that's why I say you don't need these government dumbass people. If people were like smart and came together in a certain way, then they would be able to do their own.
right, right. That's funny. That's funny as like, damn, motherfuckers, motherfuckers really sit up here and go to an institution that promised them education, but the minute you walk on campus, some drunk ass white boy fucking jumping off top of a roof, alcoholic, drunk as hell. You trying to get a
For
degree?
real.
You trying to get a degree? Um, you go to this workforce and they still fuck you over. I'm done. I'm done.
You get in debt. You could have fucking saved your money. You could have went got FAFSA or the student aid, took that money, got drunk, fucking rent an Airbnb or whatever. Probably can't rent an Airbnb, but just got drunk and lived at home and done the same shit and then kicked it with your little college friends on the weekend or whenever they're free and done the same shit. You got to go get in debt, have to go to school and all that dumb shit just to get drunk and have. Because a lot of people they go to college just for that, just to have fun.
Just to have
They
fun,
don't
yeah,
do it for.
yeah. That's what I noticed with like most of the people I went to college. They went to college just to, you know, experience college. But like what I found out is that like, damn, that money sticks for you forever. So
Yeah, that
um,
debt ain't no fucking joke.
so like, I was gonna go to trade school and whatnot, but you know,
And trade school, before you go, trade school ain't even that because trade school they'll tell you, oh, go to trade school, you get work and you could be a tradesman. But the health complications is horrible. Every trade job you go to, you're gonna have health problems because when they say be a welder. I remember when I was younger, my mom and I was like, "Oh, you should go into welding. You should do this. They pay good money." And niggas like, "Oh, I get paid 40. I don't know how much to get, but he's like, I get paid $1,000 doing welding." But then when you're welding, you're breathing all that shit in. By the time you're like 50, 60, you're gonna have lung issues. When you're an electrician, you're breathing in debris because you got to go behind all these moldy ass walls, all this dust and debris. My uncle had pneumonia because he was doing construction and he just came up with pneumonia and it was bad and they had to go to the hospital and all that shit. Those trade jobs aren't fucking healthy because you're breathing in toxic chemicals and while you're
oh
working
damn,
electrician, you're breathing in the toxic debris from having to dig in the walls and put wiring, and then you get not to mention you're getting shocked from you're gonna get shocked when you're being an electrician. It's not a matter of if, it's when. You're gonna get buzz shocked if you can't handle it, then you probably shouldn't because sometimes you may take touch some live wire, what they call it, and it's gonna happen, isn't it? Eventually, yeah, they have ways to test it, but things happen. You're breathing in all these toxic fumes, whatever. You go into plumbing, all those chemicals you got to use for the plumbing to get the that shit fucks with your health. So by the time you're like 50, 60, you have all these heart issues, lung issues, and then they just say, oh, because you're old age. Shut the fuck up. Some of that's probably for old age, but most of it is from the shit you were doing before.
Damn.
That's what people don't understand.
So you saying like all this like trade job shit is like um there's a catch. Got niggas in the coal mine
Yeah,
with
it
black lung.
fucks with your health. It's common sense. Like if you go on a go ask a plumber, what do you do all day? Go ask an electrician, what do you do all day? Go ask any tradesman, what do you do all day? And when they tell you their duties or you go on the job site training with them, the environment they're in, like even when you walk into Home Depot, it says on go to Home Depot whenever you have time. Go in the front of the Home Depot. It says when you walk into this establishment, you are exposed to chemicals, dust that cause lung problems. And I went into the dust area, the Home Depot, the what was it, the other day because I need to get something, and I went into they have a lumber section when you go into Home Depot. And every time I walk to the lumber section, I'll be on my fast, so I'm more privy to it. I can't. I have to have my nose like this because the dust and the lumber is so much, and that dust particle, if you breathe it in too long, it's gonna damage your lungs over time. And since I'm fasting, I could pick it up even more. I can't. Every time I go to that section, I have to do this. When I wasn't really fasting, it wasn't really a problem. But like when I fast now, my body's cleansed. Like I can feel it more. Like it doesn't hurt me or nothing, but it just I don't. It doesn't feel right breathing it in. Like it doesn't like it hurts me, but it's just like I don't feel healthy. Like if you work at Home Depot, that's because every plumber. This is why Home Depot stays in business because every type of electrician, tradesman, plumber, any type of tradesman, they have to go to Home Depot to get their supplies and tools. So going into the place, they tell you that this place has a lot of chemicals and shit. And these tradesmen, they're going in and out every day, getting their supplies for their business, and they're going to work on it with those supplies. So that over time, that shit's gonna affect your health. Go and not to mention they smoke cigarettes and all this eating all this junk food. It's like they have it set up where your life is really short. You're not it's not even about life being short, but you're not gonna have a good quality and shit. Cause yeah, you live to be like 80, but you're gonna be sick with a whole bunch of problems and shit.
Man, what the fuck? So
Yeah,
what
so
the
if you
hell?
look in the trades, keep that in mind when you look for. I'm not saying don't be a tradesman or whatever. Keep that in mind. Like, are you willing to have that? Like, if you want to be a tradesman and stack up some money, let's just say you work there for a few years, whatever, stack up some money to
My
get your
plan?
plan going. I'm not saying anything wrong, but don't look at it like a lifelong career because
Nah,
keep that in mind. The health consequences that come with it.
nah. Like I'm just doing this to get a little stability and like just to
Yeah, I'm
get
not saying don't. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
like just to get some money in my pocket because I know it's like, bro, like sometimes what people don't know is like that's like very hard work. Like at least compared to like what other
And
people
then
are
not to
doing.
mention your back and your spine. That's gonna be if you're gonna have to be doing yoga, exercise on a regular basis. Which who's gonna do that? If you by the time you come home from work, you're gonna be so bent from working all those fucking hours, doing all that heavy lifting and shit. You're not gonna want to do no yoga and shit.
Hell
So
no.
a lot of
See,
people like
oh yeah, my
go
bad, my
ahead.
bad. Okay. I used to work in warehouse. I'm like, when I worked in warehouse, it was like bro, how the fuck do people work out
I
after
did
doing
too.
warehouse? Like 8 hours a day on your
It's
feet,
ridiculous.
right?
Like
Hmm?
it's ridiculous. I worked in warehouse and like this is why this like when I tell people who complain about work that you're retarded, I'm not speaking like I never worked in my life. I worked in a warehouse for like 3 weeks, and then when I went, I remember I think I told you guys this story. I was picking up all the garbages from the fucking where the like probably like 3 football fields, big ass warehouse, and I had to get the garbage bins, which were like heavy, like you needed a trolley to carry the bins, and I had to get the bins, take it to the trash compactor, then put the empty bin back where I got it from, and I had to do that. And I was working my ass off, and I was gonna leave that fucking piece of shit ass place. But what made me leave was I did all that and I missed one bin because it was so busy. And the other bitches, they have them cleaning tables while I'm lifting all this shit. And the nigga who was the supervisor, he's driving the cart where you're like, you know, the carts that mop the floor, but you drive it. Like he's
Right.
driving that shit like he's in fucking NASCAR and shit. I'm like, bitch, you could help me do this shit, nigga. And I missed one of the carts because I'm the only one on the fucking floor doing it. And then the dude came up to me and was like, um, I guess one of the other people, they took a picture of one of the garbage cans that I didn't empty. So it made it look like I didn't do shit all fucking day. So when he came up to me, he's like, so whoever was in charge of doing the garbage bin, they said that you guys didn't get this bin, and here's a picture of it being full. And then it's like, you guys, and he's all telling us, you guys need to be on this shit more. And I was working hard that day. And he's like, not only that, you need to be dusting every square inch of this warehouse. Once he said that, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. And then I left that shit and I haven't worked since that day. And that was like after 3 weeks. So when I see people complain, I'm like, just fucking leave. But people, they don't want to leave, which I'm not going to say everyone has to. I'm not saying I was in a position where I had money to left. I didn't have shit when I left other than that check they had. But eventually, some way, somehow it made a way and I was able to be good. But I just fucking left. And I
See,
never came back. I didn't even negotiate. I didn't even argue. The moment he even called me out after how hard I worked, I realized, okay, this is how this system works. You can be doing something so perfect, regardless, have to be with work, with anything, even a relationship. You can be doing something so perfect, but the moment you slip up, a piece of shit individual will magnify that mistake and ignore everything you did. And that's one thing I try not to do in my life. When I see somebody who's done good to me and they may piss me off at one point, I try not to be too hard because I don't want to just throw away everything that they did, because I hate when people do that. Always remember what somebody did. Yeah, people make mistakes, but if you magnify that mistake and forget everything else, that shit pisses me the fuck off. So that's why I didn't even argue, negotiate. I was just like, okay. And I never showed up to that fucking shit. And they didn't even call me or nothing because they probably knew, like, I'm not fucking showing up here. And then you tell me I gotta dust every square inch of this big ass warehouse. Cause I seen there's this one tweaker bitch, like she was obviously on meth and she's just tweaking. And that's the only reason way she could have done that job, because she was on meth. And she's just scrubbing everything. I'm like, I'm like, bitch, you scrubbing everything? Like you're crazy. And then when he told me you have to dust every square inch, it made me remember the tweaker ass bitch who was dusting everything. And I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not doing that shit. And like you got me fucked up. I'm not dusting this whole. So pretty much the whole time. And this nigga's like, we imagine a big ass warehouse with three fucking um the size of three football fields, and the nigga going to a fucking metal bar, out of that whole one little small metal bar, getting his finger and wiping the dust. You see this dust? It has to be clean. That right there was like, you know what, nigga, fuck you. Kiss my ass. I'm not gonna be moving around 24/7. I'm not doing that. Like
I
you can
bet that
kiss my ass.
motherfucker
Go
was.
find somebody else to do it.
I bet that motherfucker was fat as hell too, cause it's always be the fat ass ones. Like you know, you know what I'm saying? Like it will
Yeah.
be they always be the fat ass ones in these warehouses and shit. Like and
Just run their fucking mouth and shit. And then people, they like to fucking, like I was on my phone and motherfucker called. They can't even address me. They're too pussy to tell me they gotta call the manager. Cause I didn't work for the warehouse. They contracted like a certain janitorial service, and I worked for that contract. So they had to call the boss and then tell me, like, bitch, you couldn't tell me, like, don't be on my phone, or at least come respectful, like, hey, we don't like to be on your phone here. Like, he just goes and calls the manager. I'm like, I hate this weak ass shit.
yeah, I feel you because it's like I done ran into so much weird people doing warehouse and shit where it's like it was to the point where it's like, damn, why the fuck are y'all glorifying this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then there was this one time I think this dude snitched on my back because I was taking a break or something, and like this Mexican dude, it's always Mexican people, like freaking,
Yeah, cause yeah,
it's always Mexican people selling out for work. Um, this
because
Mexican,
they're fucking illegal and they're so excited and happy to be here with their fake ass documents. So like they're willing to go the extra mile to brown nose and kiss ass.
right? And then like I was taking a break, and this dude was just looking at me. He was doing like we was packaging boxes or something. We was taking we was cleaning out the computer boxes or whatnot. And this dude looked at me and he was like, and he said, "Make sure you're doing your work." I'm like, "Okay." And like he was just staring at me the whole time and shit. And then
Was he the boss or was he an employee?
he was an
Like,
employee.
see that's the shit that pissed me off right there. If you're not the manager or the boss, you need to shut the fuck up. And if you're gonna say something, go to the boss and say. Don't say it to me because like that'll make me want to say something back. Like, and then probably end up getting me fired with us. I can't work around people like that. Like,
Right. And then I shrugged it off. I was like, okay.
yeah,
He probably just was getting overworked. He needed some help. And then like he go tell like I say he probably go tell somebody about me or something. I'm like, bro, really? And keep in mind in the situation, I wasn't even taking a long break. I was just like, I was just like it was a
yeah,
couple seconds. And like he just spotted me out. Like what? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's a,
It's just like workplace weirdos.
it, it's a program because you got to understand like the people when they create this matrix and shit, they have certain programs in place. Like there's a lot of witchcraft they do. They set shit up and they have certain programs to get people to like because they the corporations they have to invest in ways to keep the company making money. So they have certain structures and programs in place that you may not even see that are subconscious programs and all this shit that will have people want to snitch because they want to. The way they create their system is you gotta snitch to get up and be a bitch and do all that. So that's why they have that crap. That's why you gotta when you go to those places, you can't be friends with no one. You don't even tell no even let's just say you smoke or you like to do whatever. Don't tell nobody shit, even if they look like they smoke or they chill. Don't even tell them because nobody's your friend there. Like because you wouldn't even be hanging out with those people if you weren't there. You don't fuck with them. Like I'm not you're not my people. I don't like you. Like you probably wouldn't like what I do, and I'm definitely not gonna like what you do after work. So like that's why you don't even be cool people to just go there, make your money, and like leave.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that was the best option and shit.
And
Like,
the Mexican dude, he better be like I don't know. Like I see what you're saying. A lot of Mexican people they can't be doing that, and like I don't know why they getting all hyped up and shit because the end of the day, nigga, like all the work you have to do just to come over here to get this shitty ass job, I didn't even have to do half the shit you have to do, nigga. So don't make me go there with you. For real, like
right.
you hyped over this piece of shit job just because you have to go trek a whole fucking desert and pay some cartel for some fake paperwork, nigga. So now you take this shit so fucking serious, bitch. I don't care, nigga. I was growing up here. I quit this shit and get 20,000 more of these or do my own thing. I'm not like you walking on eggshells, nigga. My money ain't being sent back to Mexico, bitch. My money's being spent on what the fuck I need to spend it on. So, bitch, I'm not in your position. That's why they be tripping because that job to them is the same way as like a CEO in his position. Like they look at that with esteem and something special because they have to do so much shit just to get that little piece of shit job compared to what you have to go through. So that's why they look at it that way. That's why I don't even sweat them motherfuckers.
Right, right. Man, that's fucking facts. That's fucking facts. And yeah, you right, bro. Cause like you know, I be like, I don't know, warehouse is like the weirdest jobs and shit. So, and it's like every time I got released from a job, it was because of somebody else. Dead ass, I was like the first job. I was like, it was always a weird ass manager or some weird ass situation. Like,
It's it's so weird. Like when you about you. It's funny how you said it because when I first worked that place where I quit, there was two like managers that were like I guess you could call them the boss of what I was doing. They were overseeing my position. Because they ain't my fucking boss, but they were overseeing the position I was working at. And the way they look like when you see people you just know you're gonna hate. Like
yeah,
you just know you're not like if you know you're gonna hate them. Like you've had run-ins with these type of people, and you can just tell by their body language, their facial structure, the way they talk, like they're just a fucking piece of shit. That's exactly how both of the managers look. And when I seen them, I was like, this is the spirit telling me I'm not supposed to be here because like the way they look was like, I know I'm gonna have a problem with them. And like when you talk to them, you can tell eventually, like there's certain people for me when I talk to them, I can see, okay, I know I'm gonna have a problem. No matter how nice they are, I know I'm gonna have a problem because usually these type of people are damaged. They don't work on self, and they're very mentally unstable. They're very maybe narcissistic, very angry. Because a lot of people, some people express depression as sadness. Some people express depression as narcissism, and some people express it as anger. So when people, everyone's different. So these are the type of people who, when I seen them, I categorize them as people with very shitty lives and they've been through a lot of shit, but they're not more, they don't express it through sadness. They express it through anger and narcissism. And eventually, if you get them to a point, then it will get to that because those are the type of people who have a lot of ego. So even though they're depressed, they cover it up with narcissism and anger because they don't want the world to see that because they care about what people think. So this is where those type of people. So I knew eventually I was gonna have a problem with these people, and like I didn't have a problem with them because I quit before, but like when I seen the way they look, I was like, okay, I know the spirit made these. Why out of all people to be like overseeing my position, they look like people I don't fuck with, and it has nothing to do with race because every race has them. Black people, I've seen it. White people, every race has them. It's not exclusive to race. So I want to just put that out there. It's like a certain spirit and energy, and I would even say person per se as it's the certain experiences that people go through that develop them to have a cold piece of shit, ignorant attitude. So
Like,
when a person gets abused and traumatized from a young age or at some point in their life, it creates a certain type of mental illness. And depending on the individual spirit, if they decide to work on themselves or they decide to actually express it
right,
and project it, that's on them. And these are the type of people who want to project it. So I knew that I'm
right.
dealing with people that are traumatized. So I was like, I cannot deal with this shit.
It's like
I
they're a
cannot deal with it.
bitch, right? Like, just it's like they're a total bitch, right? Like, just like fucking stink, just,
Exactly.
like stink ass attitude, everything, like fucking Karen, like, and it's funny because like notice how most of them like they're fucking fat, either fat old or fucking bald.
For real. These ones, the ones that I was talking to, were they look like they could have been like around like probably in their 30s, late 30s. Cause like when I see shit like that, like there are old people, but I'm starting to see a lot more motherfuckers like in their 30s, like younger with that energy. As well as because when I see older people that are like that, I give a little bit more grace and I it doesn't upset me as much because I'm like because they old, they're stuck in their ways. I it's like a little kid that acts stupid. Like you like give them more grace or whatever. That's how I kind of see older people. Honest, even though you too old to be acting like that, when I see an old person, when I see somebody that's around my age and they like that shit pisses me to fuck off. Like it makes me want to like clap back. Like, bitch, how the fuck are you my fucking age? How are you like in your late 20s and you acting like a fucking piece of shit? Like what do you expect this to be your whole life? Like what the fuck who the fuck raised you and where you grow up around? Like the fuck? It's weird.
Right,
Like
right.
that's like a Gen Z fucking telling people to get to work. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You should be your generation with your Pluto and everything should be trying to get people not away from not to be lazy, but looking at this shit like it is nothing and trying to create something else, not trying to back up the system, nigga. Like, where's the help at, bitch?
That's funny because like people my age, at least the ones I'll be around, they're like, nah, we just here for a paycheck and whatnot. Um and shit, they cool with working and shit.
And they,
But
they don't like that. When don't ever say you're just here to get paid because these corporations they don't like that. Like this is why when you go to an interview, they say, what do you want to work here? And nobody ever says because I need money because the corporations they're very like it's about making money. It's funny because a corporation is about making money, but when you go there and you tell them you want to make money, then they get upset. But if you make money, wouldn't they make money because they need to make money to pay you? So that's why I never really understood. That's why it's like it's weird. It's some type of buck breaking. They want to mold you into a sheep and a slave to have you do whatever you want regardless of the money. Because if you say it's about money, then they can't really debo you around the fucking warehouse and say, do this, do that. They can't do it because you just about money. But if you say about I want to make the corporation and I care about the company and you truly give a fuck about it, then they can make you do some shit that a position that gets paid $3 more than you does, and have you do that and your position, and you're gonna be like, well, I care about the company. So don't. And they try to, and then when you don't say that, they make you look like you're lazy or you just here for the money. Bitch, oh yeah, I'm here for the money, motherfucker. You think I'm gonna work here the rest of my life? I don't give a fuck about your corporation. First of all, if I cared about your corporation like I cared about my life, I'm not gonna get anything of it other than the fucking paycheck, and that's it. You're not gonna do shit for me. So I'm just gonna be doing something for you. I don't give a fuck about your family or your corporation on that level at all, at any level. I'm caring
That's
to get my money, and I'm gonna do what I have to do to get my money and get the fuck out. That's it. Anything else, bitch, you're selfish, you're narcissistic, and you want me to care about your situation more than my situation, which that's fucked up. That's why it's retarded when they ask you, oh, why do you want to work here? And then you have to tell them some bullshit response. Oh, because I like the name. Shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck about. People need money, especially in these economic times. People need fucking money. No one gives a fuck about JC Penney's. If that was the case, bitch, half of them wouldn't be fucking closing and going bankrupt because people will still be buying their fucking shit, going broke buying their shit. Ain't nobody going broke buying this overpriced shit because they don't give a fuck about it that much.
right. That's funny. That's
That's why
funny.
everybody running up in their stores and stealing shit. Fucking yeah, and then no one gives a fuck. That's why they gotta put security on everything because they know people don't care. Why you think they have lock security passwords? Any society that has security passwords, that's a fucking a society that doesn't trust each other. Why are we in a society that don't trust each other? It's because the way it's built. The corporations ain't shit, and they're trying to debo everyone, and they know it, so they have to have a cybersecurity team because they better have a cybersecurity. You better lock that shit up, and you better have a password because if you don't, somebody gonna steal your fucking money because they don't give a fuck about you, just like you don't give a fuck about them. The fuck?
Right. Right. That's funny. That's funny because like they do be trying to devo you, and Gen Z they're like, okay, you want to devo me? I'm out of here. Like it's not no freaking. I'm gonna just take the disrespect because of the money and shit. Which like that's where older generations kind of failed, or older generations they failed at creating something new. So we're just in the system, and then they want to blame Gen Z for being quote unquote lazy when it's like, no, motherfuckers, the system fucked up. We just don't want to work because the the when we work, y'all motherfuckers is not making it favorable to work.
Exactly. And it's like they don't put that on top of that. They don't pay you shit. Or at least if you're gonna pick it, okay, keep the pay the same, but drop the price on rent. It shouldn't be more than these houses, these buildings are so fucking cheap. It shouldn't cost more than $500 to rent a regular 2 bedroom apartment that's decent. It shouldn't. It's not that much. That's all. What you see going on is overpriced because people want to make money. It's greed, and the people in real estate they have a market, and people are willing to. Everything is about demand. That's what they call supply and demand. They only can supply something at a certain price if people demand it. If people are buying houses for thousands of dollars, then they're gonna fucking obviously. Why would they lower the price? Don't ever think a house, even a house in the fucking Hollywood Hills, that shit ain't worth shit. That it's worth that much because the way they have it structured, set up, and the programs and everything. You can learn. We can learn how to make our own bricks. All you gotta do is make a machine. Go get some fucking some soil. Put it wet. Make it wet. Dry the soil in a certain way. Make bricks and then build your own house from that. A lot of this shit you could learn how to do, but they don't teach you that. They teach you about retarded, fake ass history, a bunch of dumbass X and Y equals fucking Z3, all this dumbass stupid shit. And then you spent fucking 10 years of your life learning useless shit. So where's the room for learning how to build a brick, put fucking technology? There's kids in Africa. It was a fucking a dump site. This kid in Africa got a motherboard from a because in Ghana and Nigeria they have electronic waste fields where they all the waste that comes from the Western countries they throw over there. The kid went and took a fucking shit that people throw away in America. He opened up the damn container, the computer, took the motherboard, put a bunch of compartments together, and he made a device that was able to charge his fucking cell phone. Like
Wow.
in, in that area, because they didn't have no electricity, so he was able to charge it. It was like a device that was able to just charge it, and a whole bunch of other shit that they things that they design. They build mud houses. The people make for Africa has mud houses. If you actually see one of those mud houses, those shits are thick. It feels like a brick. A mud house, because what they do is they get mud and they solidify it, and the mud houses actually feel like a hard. It's harder than stucco. At
Right.
least it feels like it. Like that shit is hard. That you, if you had a mud house, and if I built a mud house in this area, I can easily charge $100,000 and people will buy it because it's shelter. People need shelter and it keeps you warm. You can put your own heating and whatever in it if you want it warmer. It's like a fucking house. They in America, oh, mud house, they make houses out of mud. You fucking idiot. If you ever went to one and actually felt one, this shit is sturdy as fuck. I'm not saying it's sturdy as brick, but that living in that is way more better than living in these shitty small apartments that they charging in the hood for like fucking 1,500 or more. Way better than a little 1 bedroom apartment or a
Man,
studio apartment they have in the
1500.
city.
Man, 1500. God damn. That's like,
No, it's not even 1,500 for a 1 bedroom apartment out here. It's like 1,900, 1,800.
god
And
damn.
then
You might as well.
anything 2 bedroom and up is you're paying over 2,500
Oh my god damn. That's not,
out here.
you don't even, that's unnecessary. Like what are you even paying for at that point?
You're
Fucking
not paying for shit. You're paying because people are accepting it, and everyone, no one's saying standing up for it. Nobody wants to speak on it. Everyone just thinks it's normal, so they just acquiesce, and that's just how it is. And people are
motherfuckers,
buying them. It's not like there's nobody. People are moving in, and people are buying them and shit. So
motherfuckers brains motherfuckers brains must be too stuck on politics or something. Like fucking inflation, they think inflation of houses is normal or some shit. Like, what
and
the fuck?
and when I tell you 1,800 for 1 bedroom, that's a piece of shit. Like it looks, the furnishing is from the 80s. Because when you live in California, you're mainly paying for the the environment and the location. You're not paying for the place because the 1 bedroom, the furnishing will be from like the 80s and the 90s. So you got to update your own furnishing. Get it if you want to update or get a new fridge or whatever. And it's like an old ass. It stinks because the wall, they haven't really cleaned the walls and shit so much. So it has an odor to some of them. And if you want something that's updated furnishing, that's 1 bedroom, you're gonna be paying over 2 grand for 1 bedroom
Two
out here. If
grand.
you want like the little villages, the little new shit that they built, they call them villages that just updated and new. Out here, you probably pay like 2,100 for 1 bedroom out here.
You out here paying 2 grand for a
Yeah,
toilet seat, a kitchen, and a bedroom. I'm
and
done.
if you want a studio, that's gonna be like 1,500. Probably not even. Probably like in certain cities like LA, San Francisco, probably like 2,000. I don't know, but it's expensive as fuck for a studio. You're paying at least over 1,500 for a studio in like LA.
Oh my god! I heard some dude. I was
And
doing
then, and then
Uber.
they wonder why there's so much theft and people committing crimes and following people home and fucking like they're like, oh, why are people doing it? Why are there so many homeless? Why are people stealing? Bitch, what the fuck you mean? People stealing to pay rent, and then they have the audacity to say, oh, people are stealing because they're not stealing bread, milk, and water. They're stealing Gucci bags. Like, you fucking idiot. Why would you need to steal bread, milk, and water if they gave you food stamps for and they got food pantries? If you steal a Gucci bag, wouldn't you think that they're gonna sell the Gucci bag and use it to pay for the exorbitant high ass fucking rent? They're not gonna just steal this Gucci bag just to wear, dummy. They're stealing it so they can sell it to rich people and get money to pay rent and pay for their kids and all that shit. It's the ignorance in here. It irritates me. And I'm not saying it's right to just go and steal, but if you're raising rent and prices this high, it's okay to steal. It's okay to steal. And I'm not saying there's not other ways to make money. There are other ways, and there are other ways to do it. And you don't need those. You don't. I'm not saying people should steal, but if I see somebody steal, I don't care. I'm not gonna
Right.
judge them. I'm not gonna snitch, and I'm gonna do whatever you want to do.
right. But that's all I had to say. You know, I'm gonna head out and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all stay safe out here, cause
Yep, you
this
too.
this shit is ridiculous. Like motherfucker, motherfucker, don't make for anybody out there. Don't make it feel like that you gotta overwork yourself for the system. Um,
Mm-mm.
and shit like that, and it's normal because like there is such thing as some people don't even know the concept of even paying bills for a house. Like
Mm-mm.
like
If
there's
you
certain
got parents that you like that you like, care about you, don't feel bad if you got to stay with them to get your shit right. Because like 90% of every damn near every person that I know that wants to talk down about somebody paying them bills or living with their parents, they're not like they're doing good. They're like struggling making ends meet. It's like if they think they're doing something, like the system has them programmed like, oh, I'm 25. At least I have my own place, but your whole check goes to your home place. And then for the past 3, 4 years, you have done nothing but work in your whole bill. So because this is what they want. They this is why they pay you a very little bit of money and um they pay you very little bit of money and say, oh, all my money is going to bills. All your money is not going to bills, dumbass. All your money is going to a corporate person's pocket. Because when you pay bills, somebody's making money from you. So this is what I want all your money to go to bills because you're working for to get somebody rich. You're not every time you pay a bill,
bill,
somebody's getting richer. So
bills don't just go into the
yeah,
magical system that you don't know of that like controls your life.
exactly. And then they control the price of the bill. So they could say, I want the bills to be this high. I'm gonna pay you this a little bit of money because they want all your money to go straight to bills. So therefore it keeps you in a rut. And then now you feel like you have to work. So now it gives you the people who make money off bills, they know that they have money secured coming in through taxes and through people paying bills because they know a lot of people they feel like they have to work these jobs and they put them in fear and all this other shit. And then it's funny how they have this Trump with the tariff shit. How was remember I told you guys all these. Remember I said it when this nigga got into office. Before he got into office, I said, or when they elected him in November, I said all these stupid ass niggas think that Trump's gonna get in office. Go back on my life. I said it's gonna get worse because it's like people don't understand. Like the government doesn't fuck with you. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, Bidenomics. It was because of Biden this, Biden this." But you see how Biden left, and what's good, what's happening now is worse than when he was in office. It's worse. But then people don't see it. People, oh, we have to give it time. We have to shut the fuck up, nigga. What time? There ain't no time, nigga. Just come to the fact that the government don't fuck with you. Because what they're trying to do is trying to they're trying to make it where it's like somebody who's gaslighting you. They secretly fuck with your shit, but then they have to convince you that they love you. So therefore you don't catch on so they can keep fucking with your shit for as long as possible without you knowing. That's what the government is doing. Like when Biden was in office, those economic problems, they said when Trump was in office, he was going to lower this and he was going to do this and that. But come to find out, the situation's getting worse. The stock market just dropped. The stock market's crashed right now. It's horrible. The crypto went down from like 100,000, it's like 80 some. All the markets are going down because the tariffs. They're gonna they passed them right now. So right now, after today, there's gonna be tariffs. So within the next probably around the time Saturn goes into Aries, Uranus goes into Gemini, around that time you're gonna start seeing the effect of a lot of shit going. Once the summer gets here, you're gonna start seeing a lot of things get more expensive. Like when they release the PS6 and the new Xbox and the new TVs in the next 3 4 years, they're gonna be hella expensive. It's probably gonna be like $1,000 to get a PS fucking six. Most people aren't gonna be afford because all these tariffs is gonna affect it in the future. So when they release PS6, when they release fucking 9K TVs and all this shit, iPhone 18, 2000, like in the next 4 or 5 years, 3 years, it's gonna be hella expensive. Like probably $1,000 to get a next gen gaming console. Most people aren't gonna be able to afford it. A computer, get a nice computer in the future is gonna probably be hella. You're gonna be for rich people if these things keep if they don't cancel the tariff shit because everything, all that PlayStation and Sony, all that comes from even the computer chips. Even if you say Microsoft, the computer chips come from out of country. They make them, so it's going those next gen consoles gonna be hella expensive. Ain't no if you ain't making money, you ain't gonna be gaming. And funny thing is, Saturn's going into Taurus in 2028. So Saturn and Taurus, everyone's gonna be stressed about stability, money. Everybody's gonna be worrying about wealth and how to survive. It's gonna Saturn don't like to be in Taurus, so it's going the way things are looking now is not looking too bright. And once Saturn gets in Taurus, you're really gonna start seeing the effects of that shit, and it's gonna be like a lot of things that regular people do in the future. You're probably gonna look at it like it's a luxury and only rich people do it, like eating steak or fucking playing a video game. You're gonna be like, damn, nigga, you play video games and you must be rich or some shit. It's gonna be like that. Or niggas are gonna just be going broke just to play those things and eat that shit.
Man, I'm gonna be playing a PS5 for a fat minute then.
I'm saying that shit's gonna be like $1,000 plus probably. You see they released a PS5 Pro, that shit was 900. So what do you think the PS6? That shit could probably be 1,000.
I'm gonna say 1,200.
Probably. It's gonna be they're gonna because all these tariffs and shit, they're gonna be hella. You ain't gonna be gaming if you don't got no money. And then all the jobs are gonna be replaced by AI. So who the fuck's gonna be able to buy that shit? Because by 2028, Walmart, by 2028, you won't be able to go to any fast food place without AI. I don't even think there'll be fast food workers. And if there are, they're gonna be like one or two managing the AI.
Damn, they
Because
fucking
it's
it
gonna
up.
be, I don't know what that's just the way it looks. Maybe if people wake up, maybe something can change, because anything can change. But the way the outlook that is come looking from here is not looking too bright.
Damn,
Hopefully, people wake up and it doesn't get that bad.
damn. Okay, that's all I had to say though. But yeah, y'all stay spiritually protected and safe because that
Yep,
shit
you
is
too, you too.
that shit ugly. Like I don't want to be living in a
Yeah,
world where everything like fucking some shit is overpriced. Now we can't enjoy nothing. Or
yeah, and it's all based on stupidity. It's not based on the actual value. Because you always remember, the thousands, billions of dollars of product get thrown away each year. I go into stores and like a lot of shit that is on the shelf. And the reason it's on the shelf is because people can't afford to buy it because it's overpriced. So then it gets expired, it goes bad, or it gets outdated, like if it's technology, and then they have to throw it away. And it's a waste. So this is why I say the system is retarded, because how is it things are getting more expensive because of value and demand, but yet you're throwing away so much shit every day because it gets expired and outdated. It makes no sense. So it tells you that it's all a game that they're fucking playing. The product is not valuable. None of this shit is valuable. It's just they're doing it because like I say, you're the energy. The people is the attention and the energy.
right. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna head out. Peace.
All right, then, Mysterio. Peace. Yeah, that was a good build. Shout out to Mysterio. That was a good build. Yep. But it's just gonna. I don't want to be the one that's always doom, because to be honest, it ain't no doom and gloom over here. It ain't no doom and gloom for you guys. Like if you just stay on your pad, do your thing, ain't it ain't gonna be an issue. Not saying there won't be issues, but there could be issues and you not have an issue. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the pandemic when that shit happened, that bullshit happened. There was people that complain about, oh, there's nothing to do and I can't do this and that, but there's some people who thrive, made money, and yeah, we got stuck in the house, but some people, they worked on their health, their spirituality, they did whatever. Like they were able to transmute it. You can always transmute. This always remember, this system is synthetic, it's fake. It's not a real system. So it doesn't have that much power as you put into it. It only has as much power as you give it. And I'm gonna end it like that. And shout out to everyone. Let me read some of these comments. See if I miss any. 'Cause I like to read the comments too. Just facts and all got no goddamn work friends. Yeah, you don't need no fucking work friends. Fuck those work friends. Anybody that try to be your friend, you need to look at them like they're suspicious. Unless they're trying to build something with you, which I'm sure they're not. Can't people like that. For all my generation of some low octave. Yeah, no fun for. Shout out to everyone in the room. Shout out to Stretch. Yeah, I don't even want to go to Canada. Canada's a fucking mess. I have a cousin that lives out in Canada. He's from the UK. He moved out there to Canada. I don't know if he still lives there. Pennsylvania charging 1,000. Yeah, Pennsylvania's getting expensive because everybody's moving out to those areas and shit from the country. I can't fuck with no rodents or no bugs. Hell no. 1.1 million. Where the fuck you live? You must live in Canada. That's ridiculous. 1.1 million. Yeah, out here, like the house that you guys saw me in, when I was in the Bay Area, that house cost fucking right at how much that house cost? Because he was renting it out from a friend. He has a very cool friend. He had his friend like I think he had multiple houses, and he was renting that house out from him. Like that's why we were able to get in that house because his friend was nice enough to rent it out for him to him. That house was like 1.7 million. And that he could have bought the house, but because the friend told him to buy the house, he's like, I'm not wasting no money on no house. Like, well, I'm gonna go waste that much money on a house, and it's not a good investment. Like, even if I had like $10 million, I ain't buying no fucking house. I just rent and get an RV or a nice ass RV and live out that shit. I don't need no big ass fucking house like that. And if I feel like staying in a house, I'll go to a hotel or I'll rent an Airbnb for a few months, stay in it, live in it, and then once I want to, because I'm the type of person I got a moon in the eighth house, so moon represents the house, and eighth is transition. So I can't stay in one place too damn long. I have to keep moving. So I'll probably, if I feel like staying in a house, I'll probably stay there for a year or so, get an Airbnb or rent out a place, and then move the fuck out. I'm not buying no house and staying in one area because when you buy a house, you got to stay in that area. It could be a weak ass city, you got weak ass neighbors, nothing to do in a city, but you have a house there, so you're stuck in that area with a bunch of weak ass people, weak ass neighbors, nothing to do in the fucking city, but you have a nice house. I'm not living like that. Fuck that. I ain't a family man. Yeah, I am going to be moving. I'm going to be moving by the end of this year. I operate on spirit. I don't just do shit on the whim anymore. So like I wanted to move, I would have moved, but spirit told me to stay for a little bit and just wait. But I'm gonna be getting the fuck up out of here by the end of this year. In this year, I'm gonna wait a little bit because we got a lot of shit going on, and we have a reunion actually. I might like when it's a reunion later on this year. I might move around the reunion because if I go to the reunion, I'm not coming back here unless I'm gonna pack up my shit to ship it back out. Because I got a lot. I gotta like still have a life kind of out here. Like I have a lot of stuff at my aunt's house, and I got a lot of shit I have, and then I got this car. Okay, this car ain't no like this. When I got this car, it was like some type of fortunate. I don't like to say blessing, but I was lucky. I don't know, I was fortunate to get this vehicle because this vehicle, right when I got this vehicle, the dude, he just finished repairing the engine, everything. It's like a fucking brand new car. He worked on the car and it got impounded by a police. So he got the car taken. So when I got the car was fixed the fuck up. Everything's brand new. Air conditioner, engine's a 97, but he fixed it up. So it's like that's why I'm like, I can't if I had my old one I had, the Honda that you guys saw me in, then I would have been sold that bitch and I probably wouldn't even be here. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad I stayed here because I was able to get a lot more things moving, which is I'm in a better situation. Because when I lost that, it's funny because when I lost that car, I was like, damn, I went back. Because I was driving that car and then when I crashed it, I was like, fuck. I thought it was, this is why I tell you guys, like, when something negative happens, don't just think it's bad. Because when I crashed my Honda, I was so pissed. I was like, damn, I'm going backwards now. Now I don't have, but then now it's like I end up getting a better car. And then I'm in a better position now. Like all the money I lost from that car, I made up and more. And I have a better car now. And I'm more in a better headspace and able to do more. So I'm like, I'm not even tripping. I'm not saying I'm glad I got in an accident, but it actually worked out better. Because if I knew I could have get this car, I could have got this car, I would have been sold that one and got this one. But I am gonna be getting out of here pretty soon. Yeah. When that nigga Trump got elected, Biden was happy because he didn't know. I don't even pay attention to politics. Politics is a reality show. All it is a reality show. Everything that they do on that on the news is reality. It's not real. I'm not. They obviously just they're making certain laws and changing it, but they're talking about all this Ukraine and this. It's all a reality. The same way you see fucking two people talking to each other on fucking all these other reality TV shows. It's all the same thing. It's entertainment, but people think it's real. Dumbass shit. Because think about it, anybody who takes that shit serious, they're not even important. Like, just look at everybody who watches politics like it's something legitimate. What do they do in their life? They either are a YouTuber that talks about it, which they ain't shit, or there's just some regular bot. It's not like people are watching politics and getting something important and actually bettering their lives. These are just regular people who wake up, get Starbucks, work at their shitty job, they go to their fucking whatever they gotta do, and they just live a regular, mundane, miserable life. That's all those people do. They're not like anybody who's innovative, smart, trying to do something better in their life. They're not paying attention to that. So you got to peep game on to type. Look at who's watching the politics, and then you can see by the way they think and the way they talk why they watch politics, because they can only attract a certain type of audience. This is why you would never see a regular person that's real talk about Trump the way a dumbass sheep talks about Trump. Nobody cares about other people's culture. I don't care about that culture, that politic American, fake American politic. That's not my culture. I don't care about it. Only people who have a spiritual connection to that culture care about it. That's not my culture. I don't care about it. I'm not like these stupid ass crackers that make all these travel vlogs and they go to Africa, and they go to fucking Amazon. They go see the tribe in Australia. They go over here to Tibet, the monks in Bhutan and all that. I'm not like these people who care about other people's culture. Nigga, all your culture is disgusting. It's trash, and I'll spit on your fucking culture. Only a regular, not every white person, but only a program dingy ass cracker gives a fuck about another racist culture. Probably some type of sexual fetish within that, because you know how some of these niggas is sick. So they probably go over. It's probably a sexual fetish. They probably want to fuck one of the natives in their attire or some shit. It's all weird. Like, I'm not into no one's culture. I give a fuck about your culture. I'll probably spit on it and disrespect it. Unless you talk about some real shit on a human to human level, on a spirit to spirit level, fuck you and your culture. So I don't watch politics. Is a culture. I don't watch politics. I don't like that culture. When that nigga Trump got up, okay, you're right there. Trump been a puppet. He don't even look like he wants to be president. You guys gotta remember, this nigga's 80 years old. When you're 80 years old, you should be enjoying your life, relaxing. Every time I see a picture of this nigga, he looks so like you could tell that nigga. To be honest, I literally believe Trump does not even want to be president. I don't think he wants to be. He has to be. He's 80 years old. Like, anybody who, when people are 80, they want to relax. You can't. What are you gonna say? Trump's president because he wants the money? This nigga's a billionaire. People retire on $500,000, $1 million, $10 million. This nigga has a billions of dollars, and he's 80 still doing president shit. Nigga, sit your old ass down and just chill and relax. Unless you can't, unless you were bred up since you were born and you have to do this. Hence why he looks miserable. All the, like, he's passing all these laws. He looks like he's tired, like he wants to rest. Like Biden, he was all sleeping on stage. Trump is like the same way. You could tell like he don't want to do it. Like he always like he don't look. You could see it in somebody's face and eyes. Like, you could tell that nigga don't want to be president. You can tell he has to be president because of what he signed up for. Who the fuck wants to be 80 years old? Like, you know how hard it is to be that shit? Like, even I'm gonna say hard work, like in labor, but who wants to just be up on stage talking and you got billions? You have the money to retire and just be away from the world, but you're on stage talking. You're 80, dude. You're gonna fucking die real soon. It's not like you're gonna live. You see what I'm saying? It's not like he's gonna live to be like 200 or some shit, and he's trying to pave his future. Like you're 80 at that point. The average 80-year-old knows their morbidity, and they're coming to an end. So they're gonna want to relax, try to live their life, and enjoy the money that they've spent their whole life. He spent his whole life making billions of dollars just to be a president at 80 something, having to deal with all that stress. Not to mention all the fucking backlash and the trolling and all the niggas want to kill you and you're facing the limelight. Like, who the fuck wants to be 80 dealing with that shit? And you can see it in his face. He probably don't even want to be president. He just has to because he's a puppet and he's their best puppet. So they like Elon Musk and Trump is the last people they have that the average sheep care about. Once the people lose faith in Trump and Elon Musk, I guess they have Bernie Sanders and shit, but they're running thin. They're gonna have to start pulling their puppets from like Kai Senate and shit. Yeah, take your time. Don't feel obligated to move. Move whenever you feel like you gotta move. If anything, save up as much money with your parents and then move when you comfortably can move and do your shit. Don't sleep on like, oh, I feel like I gotta move, and then you go move, you get some shitty ass apartment, all your bills go to rent, and then you're stuck in that same rut for like 4 years. 4 years of your life is gone paying bills because you thought you were doing something. Unless it's what you want to do. That's what's up. I feel like they do force him to be president. Ain't nobody 80 years old with that amount of money comfortably just sitting in the office. And you tell me you can't be 80. Like the age is what gets me. You're 80 years old. Who the fuck is 80 have fucking thoughts of president? Like, how long do you think you gotta live? Just chill. With the money you have, you would think. Unless you can't. I don't think any of them want to be president. I think they have to because of what they signed up for, and they fit the role, and they're the best person to fit that role at this time. Like Trump, like a lot of people, they have a spell over people with that nigga. Like people fucking look at that nigga like he's some type of messiah. They even correlate God and shit with him. It's crazy. So they need whether he wants to or not, they need him. So I don't think they're gonna just allow him to just step down. And if he does step down, they'll probably do something to him or kill him or fuck with his family or they're gonna do something because when you're in that position, you're not free. Yep. But I'm gonna end this live, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys later. I gotta handle some business, and I'm gonna be back. Next time I be back, I'll probably be I'm gonna make that Facebook group, and I hit you guys up probably on my next fast when I'm in it, and then I'm gonna make that Facebook group. I'm gonna make the Facebook group probably tomorrow today. And then I'm gonna put a link, and I'm just gonna set it up, just have it set up, and then I'll do all the other stuff as I go on. But I'm just gonna set it up so I can. But I've said it before. I'm gonna set it up, but I never set it up. But because when I think about setting it up, I'm thinking I got to do all this shit. No, I'm just gonna make the profile and then send you guys the link. You guys can join, and then I'm gonna go from there so I can just get it done. So I'll do that by today or tomorrow, and I'm gonna get back to you guys later. Peace.